Hello, fellow followers. Welcome back to the Physical Media Show here on FanZcene. Sorry we were running a little late here tonight. Yes, Tom is...
And it's all my fault.
We were talking a little bit too, and we were running late. Tom will be here. I promise you guys. I know some of you saw that. He's on Doomcock's channel, but he will be here. He's just running a little late. Trust me, Tom will be here tonight. But I mean, this is my channel. This is my show, so I'm glad you're here for me. If you're here for me, and Runner, of course, Runner, how are you this evening?
I'm all right. Semester's almost gonna close soon. Summer is around the corner, so that's pretty nice. But,
nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to say hi to everybody that's been waiting for us, and I appreciate you guys waiting for us. But welcome to the show as always. Heather Preston, hi, how are you this evening? And Random Brad Creator, always glad to have you here, my friend. What is up, Tim Hayes? Tim Hayes, the man, and Deleted Scenes, the mod, the man, the myth, the legend. Oh, look, here we are. Look who we got.
Hey, sorry, I'm late.
That's okay. No problem.
You were just in time.
Just in time, actually.
Show any picture, nothing.
Hello, Skylar Biss. I was just saying hi to everybody. So take your time and get yourself set up, Tom. Hello, Skylar Biss. Glad to see you here as well. Let's see who else we got waiting on us. Hell, Brian Barth. How are you this evening? Glad to have you here as always. Thank you guys for being here as always, and I'm so glad that you come to the Physical Media Show for all of us this evening as always. Where's it at? Runner is here and Tom is the one who's like
that's happened a few times.
It happens sometimes, Style Section. We live busy lives and sometimes we just, we get around doing other things. Good evening, Tyrell72. Glad to see you here as well. Trevor Maurer, I hope I said it right, says, hi, it might be a good point to know that public libraries can be a good place to get physical media if you have access. Yes, technically they are, they're still kind of like video, stores, but it's not the same, but it's the best place to go.
I used to do that when I was younger. I don't know. I just think buying them's better for some reason. I know that's weird, but
No, I'm with you. I think buying them's better too.
Not everybody can afford it though, but I remember talking to my local librarian a little while back, like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, maybe a few more. And even at that time, she was saying about how they were spending more money now on DVDs and Blu-rays. They were just starting to get into Blu-rays, so it had to be maybe a couple more years than a few years ago. But she's like, yeah, we're spending more money on DVDs and Blu-rays now than we are in books.
Dang. Yeah, I know. I've seen a lot of people start renting from them a lot. So,
and I think a big part of it was because video stores had went away. Especially at that time, you couldn't get Netflix without a credit card or at least a bank card or whatever. And especially in rural areas, not everybody.
It's true.
Yeah, not everybody's into that.
Yeah, and the red boxes are few and far between in some spots. So,
we
works.
Didn't have any of those.
Yeah.
It's weird. Like when I was like really little, I would always like get a movie or something from the library. Like that was my blockbuster at the time, which is kind of sad, but
hey, if it works, it works. Don't discount the library stuff. I mean, it still works.
Oh, it works. It's just I guarantee you I didn't experience the magic that you guys had.
No. You were born at the time when it was about done.
See, I remember when Family Video was still alive until that shut down, but I went to Family Video at least a few times as a kid.
Well, that was one of the last. I think that was one of the last chains that was big chains that were surviving. I think.
Yeah, they were, and then they. No, they
because they bought up a bunch of movie gallery and stuff like that.
Yeah, and they finally closed down a couple of years ago. Was it like maybe 2 or 3?
Actually, not that long ago. I was going to say, it was just like a couple of years ago, like 2 at the most.
They were like the last big chain. I mean, there's still video stores out there, but that was like the last big chain before they went boom, gone. The big chains. Yeah.
Well, they shut down like.
And now Netflix joins them.
Near me.
Yes, Netflix joins them, unfortunately.
Yeah. No, but the ones near me shut down like more than a decade ago. At this point.
But
I wish I had known Netflix was shutting down, because you know what I would have done? I would have jumped on there and subscribed to them again and got all the rare and stuff I could.
I lost them in the mail.
At the last minute, get as many as you can, and because they had at least some stuff that's probably harder to come by now.
Yeah, they had a lot of OOP stuff. I wonder what they're going to do with all that stock.
Sell it.
Yeah,
it was already probably pre-sold.
I wish we knew somebody who worked there. I mean, if anybody works at Netflix and is watching this show and knows what they're going to do with those Blu-rays and DVDs, hit us up and let us know. I'm just putting that out there in the universe. Maybe we can, get some titles.
They probably already sold them in bulk to some company or sold them back to
probably. Probably.
Because actually, when you would go into like not drugstores, we used to call them that, but like the dollar stores.
Yeah.
And you see the cheaper Blu-rays and DVDs that say previewed, but they're still in plastic.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of those are buybacks from the distributors from like Netflix and the old video stores. That's what they used to do.
Yep, it's true. Matter of fact, the dollar store up here in my little small town, they have those in those little blue envelopes.
Yep,
and they're old from the old video stores and stuff. Like you can find the Blockbuster ones, the Hollywood video
envelope ones are most likely Netflix. They were probably Netflix rentals.
No, they're like in this little. I actually bought one. They're like in this little cardboard thing, like a cardboard sleeve.
Yeah,
and it's got the Blockbuster sticker on them or the Hollywood
some
videos.
of them might still be from whatever, but like
yeah.
No, I know what you're talking about though. I did buy a few of those, but I didn't.
I bought them.
The case.
Me neither. That's why I stopped buying them. I was like, yeah, it's cool to own it but it's like. I really want that case.
Or the two bastards would split up like a complete season and you'd have to sit there and dig through all of it.
Oh, yeah. I hate when it is. It's like disc 2 of season 3, and you're like...
And you don't even know how many discs are in there.
Yeah, exactly. So that sucks. But, yeah, thank you. Welcome, everybody in the chat that's with us. Everybody out there watching, Tom and Runner, glad to be here. Not much for too much news on releases, but I will give you a list.
Week,
light week, but there's 3 of them. It's really only 3 of them, honestly, that caught my eye. Well, maybe 4. But it looks like we're getting Trick or Treat, Sammy Kerr Lives, the heavy metal rocker movie from the 80s, on 4K from Synapse and Red Shirt Pictures. So that's going to be pretty cool. I'm really excited about that. That's a great 80s horror film. We're also possibly getting the Addams Family, the complete series, on Blu-ray. I saw that was coming, so I was kind of excited about that one. These are no dates for those. And then we also get the Truman Show that's coming soon on 4K. And National Lampoon's Vacation with some horrendous artwork on 4K.
I'm confused because there's 2 different artworks for it. So I don't know if one's like a steelbook or a...
I think it's the slipcover and then the cover.
I hope you're wrong.
One looks
I think that's what it is.
One looks thicker because somebody said like it was like a special edition or some shit.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure it out here. Because they only got one listing for it on Blu-ray.com. But they show both versions here.
Yeah, I know. Like you see the one with.
I'm thinking it's the slipcover.
No, but you see,
I would agree with you, but it says the 100 over top of the Blu-ray thing. They both look like slipcovers.
That's true.
That's what I'm saying. I wonder if one of them's not going to be like a Walmart exclusive or some stupid shit. And this wouldn't even be so bad. I mean, yeah, it looks like a bad Photoshop. But the thing that stood out to me, and a lot of other people said the same goddamn thing. Why is John Candy riding a moose?
Exactly. Why?
That's dumb.
It's like somebody misinterpreted what the movie was about.
It's so bad. And it's like you could tell they used a picture from him when he's on the roller coaster and just like really bad Photoshop on it.
I mean,
oh, man.
Listen, I thought at one half.
Actually, I think it's when he's got his hands up in the air.
Oh, yeah, that's right. When he sticks him up. That's right. When he takes him in. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like John Candy works at the fucking like amusement park or whatever.
Wally World.
Yeah, he doesn't fucking travel with them. Like, what the fuck?
Sorry, folks, park's closed. The moose out front should have told you.
And that was the moose he rode in the movie. It just wasn't there.
Yeah, it's nonsense. That's really bad. But according
Yeah,
to
because I can't see any differences. So
yeah,
yeah, I don't know.
according to Duck Nation, he said one was the collector's edition.
Of yeah, I don't. They're both
Yeah,
the same.
That one I think
There's
is the
only one
collector's
listing, so that's the thing.
yeah, that's the thing. It's weird.
So I'm
But
hoping it's just that's the case. Like maybe that one will be like a lenticular slip cover for Walmart or something, or I can avoid it.
either way, it's like Warner Brothers
Or
has had some like
hopefully, or better yet, hopefully the theatrical version is a steelbook. That would be even better.
that would be. But what is Warner Brothers has like the worst like Poltergeist, Lost
You know what
Boys. Now
pisses me off
this,
now, though, thinking about this, Greg, because that's what just made me think about is if they do a steelbook, it won't match up with my Christmas Vacation. Well, that's where the family portrait one. That's probably why they did that because it matches up with Christmas Vacation. But they never gave us a theatrical version of Christmas Vacation. Now I ain't got one that matches with that.
yeah, I know.
Uh,
What happens too? This is Warner Brothers, man. Their artwork has been
this is
horrible
Warner
lately.
Brothers. You're right.
It's been
Yeah.
it's been really bad.
Maybe it was created by an AI and somebody entered Marty Moose as a prompt and it just took notice of Moose.
They probably copy and pasted the synopsis from the IMDb into it.
Yeah. There we go. That looks perfect. People are going to love it.
No, and I'm serious. They probably did use chat.
Yeah, I believe you. I believe you.
Yeah,
It's taking over.
The collector's like box or whatever, like it looks like thicker than the other one.
Maybe, hopefully, it's like an exclusive for like Best Buy or something like that, and it has some goodies with it or something. That'd be nice. I won't bitch then.
Nice.
Yeah. When was that come out? What was the date? I forgot to get the date on that.
June 27th.
June 27th. Okay. And that was honestly about it. I mean, there was some other like there was like a Kino Lorber title with Western. I can't remember the name of it with Charlton Heston, but that was really about it.
I did uncover some Scream 6.
Oh yeah,
or the 6 box set. So clearly Paramount must have worked out whatever deal it was they needed to for the Weinstein movies, or at least Scream 4.
Yeah, I saw
Yeah.
that.
I saw it too. So I guess they'll be releasing a Scream 4 in 4K eventually,
Well,
probably.
Maybe.
That's what I say. Maybe.
That's what I commented on Tom's post. I was like, maybe a 4K version.
That's like I was thinking potential there, because like I posted the picture, and I don't know if it was just because he was butthurt that he didn't get to do it first or what, but Disc Father just comes in and says this is only DVD, and I'm like, yeah, I know. But that's not the point.
I saw that. I saw that comment.
Point is, we've been sitting here questioning who owns the rights to Scream 4, and now we
know. That'd be honest. Go ahead, Raymond.
Yeah, I was just like, yeah, I know. I was just gonna say I saw that comment, and I'm like, yeah, no shit. Of course, it's not 4K.
Exactly. Go ahead.
Like it'd be, I was gonna say that'd be like an even bigger deal if it was, but it's just DVD.
It would be. But
no, and the funny is because I think I asked him like 2 months ago about that, and not only that, I've been asking around, and the best I can get is that all those Weinstein titles, Lionsgate owns them, I guess, but I don't know if they sold them with. They must have sold them all maybe with the Dimension Miramax deal.
Maybe. We'll find out eventually.
It would make sense because then it would bring Clerks and Clerks 2 together. But now Lionsgate went and released Clerks 3, so go figure on that one.
Yeah. I know. I'll just
Clerks 3 won all the awards.
Now we gotta forgive Kevin Smith because he went crazy.
Oh, of course.
Because to him it was just as hurtful that somebody said he had a big fat tummy as somebody who was shot at in Afghanistan.
Oh my God. Did he really say that?
Yes, pretty close.
Oh my God. What happened to Kevin Smith?
See this? Okay, this dropped earlier.
I mean, I saw that he said he had mental breakdown. I saw that, but I didn't read it.
He is such a soy bitch. Oh my God. It's like, seriously, you're trying to act like it was the end of the world because somebody said you're fat. Well, guess what, you fat fuck? You're still fat in your brain. Jesus Christ. Somebody called me fat a million times. I moved to a completely different state. Nobody said shit to me about my weight in my old school. As soon as I get to my new school, I realized I'm the fat kid.
I've been there. right here.
I got tortured every single fucking day. Not only that, there was 2 kids who tried throwing me off the top of a fucking jungle gym.
Right?
You want to talk about some fucking trauma?
I'll tell you, trauma, man.
Is that the teacher made fun of him and his stomach size in front of class.
Oh man, I had been picked on for being a fat kid for years. I remember one time, as of course, this little skinny little prick sitting next to me one time farted in class, and blamed it on me because, of course, I'm the fat kid. Fat kids stink.
Of course.
And everybody in the class was saying, calling me names, calling me stinky. The teacher yelled at me to stop because she believed the kid.
Fuck that kid's ass after
yeah,
school.
right. And, I was a nerd and I was fat and shy. So, but
yeah,
like
one of those days, and I was a big kid too, and I didn't realize until later on that, oh yeah, I got size over these fuckers.
Right. When you get a little older, I mean, when you're younger, it hurts. Yeah. But like when you get older,
I got in trouble for fighting a little too much. If somebody would say something, and I'd be like, "All right, motherfucker, it's on." You want to get smart? All right.
Mental break. I never once thought though that it's as bad as being shot at as a soldier.
Exactly.
I never thought.
This is your fucking excuse for He-Man? Fuck you.
And Clerks 3 sucked too, so fuck you, Kevin Smith.
I have never seen such a soy-ass bitch in my life.
He's so sad.
You know, I probably told you guys this, but like when I watched fucking Clerks 3, like there were points of it where it's like, oh, he's clearly like mocking how people think of him now, because fucking Pillow Pants guy like cries like so much like outside the hospital. I'm like, yeah, I see what you're doing, Kevin Smith. It's not funny.
Yeah, he's not. I missed old Kevin Smith.
Bitch cries so much he needs tampons.
By the way, I don't know if you saw this, Greg, but I guess Universal is releasing 2 guns in 4K.
With Denzel.
It
looks like it might be an exclusive Mark through Wahlberg. Their the what's that fucking where they sold 8 Mile first before they put it out in the normal one.
A Groove.
Groove. Yeah, that's it.
Groove. Yeah. Oh, it's gonna be one of those. Okay.
My guess is it'll be a Groove Steelbook exclusive, and then like 3-4 months later, then they'll release it everywhere. Kind of like they did with 8 Mile.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that's the way it's going to go.
Which is fine by me, because even Groove, they didn't charge that much for 8 Mile, and I think they even did free shipping on it, which was like, oh wow, because it was only like $20. I'm like, for a Steelbook, 4K, hell yeah. I ended up ordering a bunch of other stuff that they have. I'll tell you, they are the Universal store, but they have like 2 for $15 deals on
a lot of times,
all the time.
Yeah,
so especially Universal titles if you ever want to beef up your selection.
I was thinking about. I mean, I was wanting to get the Alfred Hitchcock stuff, but I think I kind of want to do it separately, like the 4K separately there on the Groove, because you can get them cheaper over time. And I don't want all the Alfred Hitchcocks in those, in those sets. I don't want all of them.
Wish I had my favorites. But yeah.
Yeah, I want to get. I got a Psycho, but I haven't got the rest of them yet. So
I have the 4 movie Alfred Hitchcock collection on 4K. The first one. The one
that's what I really
want. I get what Greg's saying. It would have been nice to have Psycho and the Birds and all those separate.
Yeah, like that. That's kind of what I want to do. And plus, they're 2 for $15.
I was gonna say, don't they have them separate? Because like I've seen.
Yeah, they do. I want to pick them up like that. Go ahead, Tom.
Because I saw Psycho individually on 4K.
Yeah. No, I was just gonna say I have the Birds in an old Blu-ray in that pop art, and that's kind of the thing is I like the art, so I didn't want to get rid of
it. I don't blame you. I've done that too. You know what? Deleted scenes. I actually have 2 guns on Blu-ray, and I've never watched it.
I'm trying to remember if I've seen it or not. I think I have.
I haven't seen it. I'm not even sure if it's good. I mean,
well,
I like.
There's the thing. If I saw it and I didn't hate it, if I hated it, I'd remember it. If I loved it, I'd remember it. So it must not have been. Right. Must have been very middle of the road.
I know Denzel and Mark Wahlberg's in it. I have it. It's on my shelf. I just had never popped it in yet. So it was just one of those movies. It was super cheap one day.
Speaking of Denzel, did you watch the Equalizer 3 trailer?
No, I didn't.
Oh, it looks so good.
I've never even seen the first two Equalizers. So.
Oh, you need to make that a priority, Greg.
I got a steelbook of, I think, the first one.
I've always heard the first one is great. So
yeah, I can't speak so much for the second one. I've only seen it once. But
I have the 2 movie collection on Blu-ray, but I might, if Sony releases like a triple pack of it on 4K once the third one's out, then I'll probably get that. But it's the final movie of that franchise.
Of the franchise, yeah.
Yeah, so it's gonna be a trilogy. So
do you remember the TV show from the 90s or 80s or whatever?
The Equalizer.
Yeah,
that's what it's based off, ain't it?
Yeah, it's that. It's just with Denzel Washington instead. I think he even has the same character name and everything from my memory.
He does. I looked it up. It's
the only difference is I think in the original Equalizer, the guy was still active, and this is just no longer an active service member.
He was like British white dude.
Yes, he was British. That's right. Yes.
And he was old. I think he was what was they called? He wasn't the CIA, whatever they call it in Britain, is what he was. The MI something, whatever. Yeah.
No, same difference. Only thing now is it's just Denzel.
Yeah. And then Denzel sort of was replaced by Queen Latifah.
Well, this is his comeback. Well, he's the movie version.
It's like, give us back the Denzel one, please. Yeah. All right, though.
We didn't land on the Equalizer. Equalizer landed on us.
And what's her face? Dakota Fanning is in the new movie, doing a Man on Fire.
Which is funny because that was a remake too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I've got the original version of that coming in the Kino sale.
Nice.
If it wasn't that one, it was one of the other ones. I can't remember.
Oh, the original
of a movie that he did a remake of.
Right.
Yeah, and Scott Glenn's in the original, I think. So I think that's the one I ordered. I think that's the one I got on there. Every time I swear they were selling, it's like they didn't have this last time. What?
Yeah, but this time they have it.
Well, and I noticed that a lot of their Disney ones they only had for a limited time. Like you can't get because like I was telling my buddy about it because he was like, oh, he just discovered Vinegar Syndrome. I'm like, well, you probably like Kino Lorber too. And he looked at it, he's like, I don't see much on here I like. I'm like, well, like, are you kidding me? Kino Lorber has tons of shit. And I started showing him some of the titles. I'm like, well, some of them they're already out of print, like Spaced Invaders and stuff like that. But like, yeah, I didn't realize they went out of print on Kino Lorber. It's like they seem to have everything, and they always seem to have it.
Yeah, that was very rarely did I ever see him go out of print on something.
You know, it's funny. I have a coworker who works in like the same department as me, and he just happens to like be a movie fan too. And we talked a little bit about like physical media and stuff. And the only boutique label he's aware of is Criterion.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, he's just a novice then. Get that boy into some other stuff.
I was telling him, I'm like, dude, like I'm gonna teach you some shit.
Fronter has now become the teacher.
I introduced as many people as I can to Kino and Vinegar.
Me too. Too.
I told him like, okay, you got to look up Shout Factory. You know, I'm like Criterion's fine. You know, Criterion's decent. They have a decent catalog, but like, and I'm like, you got to go to Shout Factory, check them out. Go to Arrow for some cult movies and shit. I was like Kino. I was like
Shout Factory's nice, but they're kind of like turned into the music land of record stores now.
I that's fair.
I don't know if you get that reference. That's probably way too old for you, but I know.
Yeah, I got it.
I have a
you have your local record store that has everything, and you know everybody there, and then you have your, you know, Sam Goodies and music lands and stuff like that. Those were kind of your places you didn't want to go. They're expensive, but
I told him as a possible what do you call it? As a possible like other option to Criterion, I told him like Kino Lorber might be one of the ones you would like most.
They are quickly becoming the new Criterion collection. Yes.
Yeah, like I was telling him like you could get some of the stuff from there that you would get in Criterion, but like slightly cheaper. And they just have like they've become like really strong. I mentioned that, and I told him about Vinegar Syndrome, and I told him that one.
You gotta
will
ease a person
stay.
into vinegar syndrome, though.
Yeah.
You can't just,
I know. I told him like vinegar syndrome.
unless
You
they're the
don't.
right kind of person. Yeah.
You introduced him buying stacks of porn, man.
Like I
Yeah,
told
that's what I
Doomcock about
told
it, but
him.
Doomcock knows about all these movies, right? But like that's a different
Right.
story. And same thing with
Yeah.
my buddy. He's
No.
like into the really like low grade B horror stuff. So like some of this stuff is up his alley. But yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I did tell him like you'll get like some like I told him like they have was it Texas Chainsaw 2 and they have Roadhouse and all that type of stuff. But I told him like most of it's like porn. Like that's what I told him.
It's grindhouse porn, B
Yeah.
movies.
I got a Vinegar Syndrome title tonight, thanks to Tom. Yeah, it's one you gave me. That's not porn.
Oh,
and
that
it's
you
not.
watched.
Yeah, it's not
I thought
what's
you meant
it
on
for my
demand.
title tonight.
Well, no, that's why I turned my buddy onto it because he was asking me about Sidekicks. I'm like, Sidekicks is on 4K. He's like, it is. I'm like, yeah, and I'm like, you never heard of Vinegar Syndrome? He's like, I never heard of this place. I'm like, so you don't have Texas Chainsaw either, then, do you? So like, and he's into like really like a lot of the movies you talk about, Greg.
Yeah,
he knows.
Yeah,
like honestly, this is a guy who's not even a YouTuber who I might think about bringing on a show sometime if with your permission, because you two would get along. Like you two remind me of each other a lot in the sense that you guys are into the same kind of stuff. He just sent me a thing earlier tonight about one of these never heard of horror movies that he's like, it's got everybody in it. And it's like, you should watch this or you should do a YouTube channel with this kind of stuff. I told him, yeah, here's the one he told me about earlier. Go Away. Never heard of it, but it's got Tom Matthews, Felicia Rose, and Tuesday Night. Of course, the first and the latter being from Friday the 13th Part 6, and the latter being from Nightmare 4. I'm like, he sent me this, and the first thing I could think about was you. Like, really? Greg probably knows what the hell this is. I'm surprised you don't.
I don't, but I have some titles tonight that maybe that way. I wonder who the producer is on that. I wonder if it's somebody. I think you know what? I might have actually seen that poster now that you show me that. I think I seen that from Felicia Rose.
It doesn't have the company on it. Yeah, I don't see it here. You'd have to look it up.
Yeah, that I might have seen that poster before. I don't think I've heard of the movie, but I might have seen that poster before. Orion Kane says it looks familiar. So,
yeah, I never heard of it until he sent that to me. But he even sent me that stuff about that movie you talked about like 2 weeks ago, the one you had on VHS.
Oh yeah, oh
yeah, because he loves like Kane Hodder and stuff like. So he follows a lot of that.
Yeah,
kind of stuff.
Yeah. The Kane Hodder is awesome. I would love to talk to him one day. What's funny is I've circled a lot of people that know him that have sort of, I've sort of got to know. So maybe one day.
I'm gonna try and get my buddy into it, but he's got no filter. That's the problem. So
happens.
Yeah. He's kind of right leaning. So
I love those people. Hey,
because like he's the guy who'll come up to me and go, "Hey, why is everything so fucking gay now?" That's gonna come up later.
It reminds me of my middle brother. I mean, he does that to me all the time. He's like, "Can you give me some movie recommendations?" Everything I watch, everybody's gay, and I'm like, it is what it is, man.
Well, and then like he's the same one. I don't know if I don't think I've talked about it on here, but I've told this story a couple times other places where I've had, he was the one who come to me and goes, "Oh, I love Last of Us. It's great. Have you checked it out?" I said, "No, I never played the video games and I never really had any interest in it." And he's like, "Well, I've never played the games either." I'm like, "Oh, so then you have no idea what's going to happen."
Oh.
He's like, "What do you mean?" So I explained him the Abby smash. And he's like, well, that's fucking dumb.
Yeah, it is.
So he got all pissed about that. He's like, I hope they don't do that. He still says that every once in a while. He's just like, I really hope they don't do that.
No, they're going to do it. They're going to do it.
Like they're going to do it.
Yeah.
No. Here's the thing. I was a fan of the first Last of Us. I really was. I love the game a lot. I've played it at least 5 times. I don't.
Yeah, everybody loved that first game, from what I remember.
Yeah, the first game's amazing. Like it's fantastic. Like it's good. It's a good horror, fucking video game type thing that's very cinematic and everything. And I gotta be honest with you, like when I heard what's funny? Sam Raimi was in the works of making a Last of Us movie. Did you know that?
I think I remember that. Yeah.
No, like in Comic-Con, Neil Druckmann or Neil Cuckman now because he's a sellout piece of shit. He was in a Comic-Con panel with Sam fucking Raimi about that movie.
Well, that's probably why it fell apart.
Yeah, I was just like, are you kidding me? Like that would have been fucking
yeah,
awesome.
it'll be interesting.
I don't know if he was gonna like direct it. He was definitely gonna produce it.
Yeah.
I know that for sure. But then I don't know. Then the second one comes out because the whole thing is weird. Like because the Ellie character, the little girl, it's fun. It's funny how they like change up that character. Like in the first game, like there's nothing in it that tells you that she's gay, right? But then you play the DLC thing in the first game, where it goes like a little bit of a backstory thing. It's like, oh well, now they kind of retconned it and made her gay. And then I know why they did that because I think they wanted at the time Ellen Page to play the character, and she
Yeah.
just happened to be gay.
Yeah, but
At that
with all that
time.
said, let's
No,
get
but
on to
then
the movie picks tonight, and because
then two came out, and that like
yeah,
that kind of
it'd be interesting to see how fans that have never played the game react when that happens next season. If they'll turn away from the show. But let's get into the movies tonight because we've been going for about a half hour, and it's time to get to the physical media because I think you have more than me and Tom. So,
well, Tom's got the same amount as me.
Yeah, but I could technically combine 2 and 2, so I could cut it down to 4 rounds.
Yeah,
I don't know what you got. So
I got 4 titles is all I got. So
okay, technically I have 7, but I can make one of them into 2.
Jesus, Runner got busy this week.
I know. I thought I got busy because usually I only have 3 and I managed 4 this week.
No,
now if you come on here and it's like this is Fast and the Furious, and then the next round is Fast and the Furious 2, I'm gonna smack you,
bro. I already showed.
I know, but I'm just saying as an example.
No, I won't do that shit.
Okay.
Because
that's where I'm at. There's 4 titles that I could combine as 2 picks, right? Is what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. I would love to do that one day just to piss you off.
You've done it.
You have. I know I love it. You've done it,
only for 2 titles.
And you've always done it on times when it's like I've got like 8 titles.
Yeah.
Like you can't combine any. You're just like, oh no, I got a lot of them. Like, what? No, I'm just kidding. You didn't go that far. But all right, let's start with you, Runners.
All right, let's get it. What do you got, Runner?
I didn't go that far. I know you two, I guess, have loved this movie. I took a little trip to my Best Buy and stay on theme.
Fuck your Best Buy.
What?
Fuck your Best Buy.
What the fuck are you talking about?
What's the yell at you like when we do something and you wait like 3 picks later?
I bought this movie because a lot of people seem to love it, and I'm like, fuck it, I gotta watch this movie at some point, and I did, and I surprisingly enjoyed it. I had no interest in this movie at all. I thought, oh, this is gonna be a dumb child's play type remake, and Megan. It was
no, Megan is a good movie.
It is really fucking good. This movie surprised the ever living shit out of me.
Yeah, it's surprisingly good.
I didn't expect it. It does, honestly, it's a lot better than I thought it would be. It has no reason to be as good as it is. I had a good time. I watched the unrated edition, by the way.
Yeah, that was my bad. I forgot to watch the unrated version because I didn't know I had it at first. So I watched it, but I don't know what the big differences are. But I know it's only like a minute or something.
There's like a couple of the differences. Go ahead.
There's like blood and shit. Did you see the part where Megan pulls out the boy's ear?
Yeah.
But did you see like the blood spitting out and shit?
I don't remember.
From what I was told, somebody told me the big differences are just minor cuts. Like what you're talking about, Runners, like they show her start to pull off the ear, but then it cuts early where it doesn't have all the splatter. Same thing with like when she tops the dude's neck. I don't think they actually show that. They just show her slashing.
Yeah, like there were a few sequences where she like will go like crazy and kill people, and I'm like, I already like assumed like, oh. Like I guarantee you, they like sort
usually
of like
it's bloodletting. right? Like that's the big difference. Like you can
Yeah.
show blood in PG-13 and even get away with some splatter like on the wall, but it's when you actually show an open wound bleeding that gives you like an instant R. So like any
Yeah.
of that, I guarantee you was not in the PG-13 version. They just cut before it started.
Oh
You know.
no. Oh yeah, I forgot the original theatrical cut was PG-13. Yeah. Like whatever felt like R-rated like was definitely
But they
cut
didn't
or
have to go through a lot to get a PG-13 from what I can tell, because it didn't really change the runtime of the movie by any at
Yeah,
all.
it's
no, it
not like a
no,
whole
it
lot.
didn't.
Yeah.
No, there's no change really. It's literally like 15 or 20 seconds, I think it was, that I looked up.
That would be awesome to see on the
That's
movie
good.
box there. Blood and shit. Runner
Yeah.
review.
And
A version with blood and
and a
shit.
Blood and
and
shit.
and a doll. And a doll that moves.
I'll be honest with you. I really felt like it could fit in the world of Child's Play. Like she could actually be in the same world as Chucky because they did a great enough job to set it up and make it original. Like it wasn't trying to copy Chucky, but enough nods towards it and everything. And it really felt like
Yeah.
maybe it could be like this doll could be set in that sort of same type of world. I thought it was pretty good. So
Yeah, and I mean, that was what I was saying before, is like that was what disappointed me about the Child's Play remake. Was like
right.
this could have been a good movie. There is a good movie in here, and it became Megan, right? Like, because Megan, that's it. That's it. That's what I was saying. Is something that clearly, because you watch the Child's Play movie, it's like, oh, that's an interesting story. You got a toy that can connect to everything online, connects to everything in your house. It's like a smart toy. I totally get it, but the problem is, no kid, especially a boy in their right mind, would want one of those now. It was stretching it with it
Right.
the good guy doll back then. And the only reason that was believable is because of the Cabbage Patch craze.
Mm-hmm. And plus,
But
the kid,
now,
he felt really young, like he could be wanting something like that.
as a girl doll, I could totally see it, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
that's still viable, especially the younger girls part aspect of it. And that was the other thing that did make sense with me with the Child's Play remake, is they ended up making Andy older. I'm like, why the fuck is he older? At least in the original version, he's 6, and it makes sense why a 6-year-old would want a doll. Right?
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, why the fuck would a 10 or 12-year-old want a damn doll?
Yeah, that just like
It's
controls
the
your
last
house.
thing in the world they'd want.
They'd rather just get the phone, man.
Unless
like
it looked
the
like
phone.
a military robot, which would make sense. Why didn't they just do that? Well, they did
Yeah.
finally with Megan, but it's the female version, and I'm fine with it. I think it works great. The setup's great. The whole, there. I mean, I think we talked a little bit more about it, Greg, at the time. But,
Yeah.
The messages in the film, the themes, the whole idea of big time with now parents allowing electronics to basically raise their children,
Mm-hmm.
and all that kind of stuff, and where that could go. But yeah, I could see even the original Chucky in the same world. I loved the Twitter back and forth between
Yeah, that's funny. But I would be cool with that. A Chucky, Small Soldiers, and a Megan cinematic universe together. That'd be actually pretty cool. I would be
They're
down for
all
that.
universal. So.
Yeah.
It's funny you mentioned Chucky because what was it? When she gets like all like fucked up and like she's got that scar and all that, like she's got like the silicone head like ripped off and you see all the metal parts and shit, like, and the hair ripped out. It's like it almost kind of looked like Chucky for a minute at certain shots.
It's a good one. That's like, yeah, that's what the Child's Play remake was going for. Megan did 100 times better.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I didn't bother with the Child's Play remake.
Nah, well, that's just it. The Child's Play remake is basically Child's Play mixed with Megan.
Yeah,
pretty much.
And that's why I had no interest in seeing Megan, because I'm like, oh, it's just gonna be.
And Chucky looks bad in the remake. Like they did a horrible job with the redesign.
Yeah, I know, like the big eyes and everything, and the way that it's just from what I remember.
Sorry, but Luke Skywalker is no Brad Dourif.
No, not even a little. No.
What was I gonna say? Yeah, no, I had no interest in Megan because watching the trailers, I was just like, I don't know. It just looked like a Child's Play remake with an android instead, and it was a chick. So I was like, I have no interest in watching it because of that reason alone. But I heard good word of mouth. I ended up picking up the Blu-ray. because I guess there's no 4K of it.
And fuck you, Universal, for not doing a 4K. What the hell?
Yeah. You watch to see there'll be a 4K release somewhere else, and you have to import it. 'Cause it seems like they're doing that here and there
I
once in a
think same
while.
thing with Cocaine Bear. I think it's getting a UK 4K, but not US 4K.
Yeah.
Same Universal again. Go figure.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. That'll be my next pick, though.
No? Well, Tom, if you're ready to go into
Well-
your since runner,
He messed up my whole plan because these were going to be my last picks of the night. But I happened to finally get this a couple days late and pissed me off because this had slid off in the packaging. So this was all kind of, I don't know if you can tell, it's all bent
oh
up.
yeah, I can see the bin on
Yeah.
the edge there.
Yeah, so I was kind of pissy about that. But I wasn't 100% sure what to expect with this. I'm kind of both. It's like it's kind of a puffy piece, along with kind of a behind the scenes, but not really. Basically, what this is it's about three fathers that have to do with Chucky being, what it is, I guess, for lack of a better way of putting it.
Yeah.
So it's basically paying homage to Brad Dourif through Fiona Dourif, because Fiona grew up with Chucky.
Yeah.
The daughter of I can't remember his name. Gardner, Tony Gardner, I think it is, the guy who took over for the Chucky effects during Seed of Chucky. So his daughter, and also kind of just all of them paying homage to Don Mancini as the father of Chucky in general. So in that respect, I enjoy it. It's really nice. You get to hear some behind, not like what I would call like, oh my God, revelations, but just kind of really puffy behind the scenes stories that are kind of cute in some respects, in other ways, and just how overall the franchise affected their lives and has become a part of all their lives, and how Chucky is kind of just as a franchise become a family now. And it does, kind of lead into the whole series that we have now and stuff.
Right.
So overall, I can recommend it. Like I said, there's nothing groundbreaking or earth-shattering in this documentary at all. They even do try to pay a little bit of respect to Yeager for creating Chucky to begin with, even though Gardner took over, obviously. But I mean, there's cute little stories like the one, Tony Gardner's daughter, when she was little, she fit in the Tiffany dress from the doll. So they forced her to go one year's Halloween as Tiffany, and she didn't understand why. Like, there's stories like that, right? So it's kind of like how, they go through each of the movies and just how, you even have, you even get some points of view. Because like, with Mancini, you have the guy who played Andy. What the hell's his name? I just forgot his name.
Oh yeah.
Alex Vincent just kind of talking about his experiences and stuff, and Don is just kind of treated as like the Don of the series, kind of carrying it on throughout. And there's a lot of great interviews in here. The only thing that really stuck out to me that really kind of bothered me was when Don Mancini said, and I'm paraphrasing here, but basically he said he's been systematically trying to make Chucky gayer over the years.
Oh.
Which is clear, especially when you watch it Seed
Yeah.
and moving up. And I don't remember. Did you see the first season of Chucky, Greg?
No, I did not. I did not watch it.
So I'm the only one who saw it. I didn't hate the first season. First season is decent.
I've heard the first season was pretty good, but the thing is, I didn't watch it because I didn't like Call to Chucky, so I wasn't really too pumped for the series.
Yeah, and I can see that. Well, I liked the first season, but then I watched season 2.
Now, the season 2 is what I've heard is like, I haven't heard a lot of people talk about it like they did the first season. So
Chucky went woke, kids. Not only did Chucky go woke, it just went bad. Because like each episode is like it's almost like paying homage to a movie. Mostly horror movies from like Clockwork Orange, The Exorcist. It's very obvious. And the 2 worst episodes up until the finale are the opening episode, because it's completely revolving around the gay relationship. And it doesn't matter that it's gay. It can be any relationship. I watch this show to see Chucky, not to see people's relationships. The relationships are ancillary. I don't need an entire freaking episode, because I think they moved from half-hour episodes in the first season. I can't remember. I don't think they were hour episodes. They're hour in this season. So I can't remember. I have to double check.
Mhm.
But so then you get through all the woke crap. The worst episode besides the first one is what I think is a Knives Out parody episode. And it's
Oh
horrible.
boy.
And it's where we're introduced to the human versions of Glenn and Glenda. Spoilers. They're
Spoilers.
played by the same they them chick. And I'm like,
Oh,
hold up, time out. I don't care if you even did a joke where Glenn dressed like a woman but was a guy, and Glenda dressed like a guy and was a girl. That would actually make sense. Right?
Yeah.
No, they have a chick playing both roles, and it's confusing as fuck. The only difference is they basically do what I just said, but it's a chick doing it instead of just having two different people, a set of twins who are a guy and a gal, actually doing what I just said, and it would make sense.
Mm-hmm.
But regardless, it doesn't fucking matter. In fact, it goes so far into the woke that one of the victims in that episode, or the main victim in that episode, the killer, spoilers, I don't care. I don't think anybody gives a shit at this point.
Yeah, like I said, I don't think most people like
the killer is Glenda. Because she gets mispronounced.
Oh, God.
Glenn and Glenda's license plate is they, them.
Oh, what happened to Don Mancini? I mean, I know he's gay, what's never bothered me, but...
As he said in this fucking documentary, I'm making Chucky gay. He jumped the fucking shark with this season.
Wow.
Like, it was okay with... He had a nice balance in that first season. And he went off the fucking rails with this one. And then that's not even the worst part. Just the convoluted way it reaches its finale of how they decide... Because there is actually... Okay. I hate sounding like I hated the whole season, because there's actually some really decent elements into it. Like, you know how I said they make fun of Clockwork Orange and a bunch of the other films? They actually make a good Chucky.
Right.
And it's kind of funny. And it actually plays really well into the season. That's one of the good elements. But that element, along with a couple others, sets up one of the most unbelievable climaxes to this series and convolutions of trying to get all these characters back into their doll bodies. Because, okay, another spoiler is a lot of them have leapt out. Like, we already know Jennifer Tilly was in a human body. Glenn and Glenda were in a human body.
Mm-hmm.
Spoilers, Chucky winds up in a human body. And I think this actually happens at the end of Cult of Chucky, where he's in What's-Her-Face's...
Yeah, Fiona Dorf's body.
Yeah, and that's still ongoing in this. So, like, that's kind of the whole thing, is by the end, Chucky Prime is trying to get back into a doll. And he's already spread his... like he did in Cult, spread out his
essence or whatever.
So they have one of the Chuckies where they brainwash him into a good Chucky to protect him. And it actually works. It's kind of funny. Especially the way that good Chucky acts. Because he's so, like, adorable. It's kind But again, once you get to the climax and how they decide to handle all this shit, and then some of the twists and turns by the end, you're just like, this has gone off the fucking rails. Like, somebody gets chopped in half the long way with a chainsaw and the body just stands up. Somebody spontaneously combusts. Somebody's head explodes
it's just went crazy
for no good fucking reason. Like, I mean, their head is okay. They're electrocuted. It's almost like paying homage to the original Chucky. I'm not going to say who does it, but after hitting somebody in the head with a water vase or with a flower vase, so it'd be water all over them, right? Not gas or alcohol. They shock them like Chucky did in the original movie with the doctor, and their head catches on fire like it was covered in alcohol. Like, that's not how fucking water works.
It's not how the Force works.
Exactly. Like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, it's like, okay, I get it. I'm bitching about a show about fucking talking dolls who have babies and shit. But you gotta have some verisimilitude in there.
Right.
Like, you can't just have people spontaneously combusting for no good fucking reason.
It's times like this I wish Tom Holland was still involved.
Right? And it's funny you fucking said that. Because as I'm watching this last season, as I watched that documentary in tandem, because I did kind of bounce, like I got fed up. I checked out during the Knives Out episode. I shut it off.
Right.
And in the interim, I got Living with Chucky in the mail. So I watched that, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to have to finish watching this series now. So I finished watching the series, and it got better. I'm like, okay, so it's getting better after the Knives Out series episode. You know, they even get everybody pretty much back into dolls for the most part. I'm not going to get into every bit of piece of it, but there's some stupid twists here and there. But then those last 2 episodes happen, and I'm just like, what the fuck?
Oh man.
And then they start this weird thing of Chucky like hosting and exiting the show as a talk show host. It's weird. It just doesn't make sense. I mean, it's gone extra campy. I don't know.
It's
I wish I could recommend it. I can recommend the first season, but I'm very, very disappointed by the second season. And Living with Chucky, I wish I could recommend as a better documentary. But it's on, I think, what's that place that had the
Screambox?
Yeah, it's on there.
Screambox.
Just watch it there. It'll probably be free on YouTube in like 2 weeks anyway.
I'm looking forward to the Robert Englund one. That's one I'm looking forward to. But yeah, that's like I said, I really wish Tom Holland was still involved somehow. I think he geared the ship right, and I think I'm probably good up till Bride of Chucky is where I'm going to stop. I don't mind Seed of Chucky every once in a while, but I think I'm good with Bride of Chucky. I mean, and don't get me wrong, I everybody has known Tom Mancini or Don Mancini has been gay forever. Nobody's ever had a problem with it, but I think he's destroying his character in modern times, personally. So it sounds like it, at least with what you just explained. I don't. Yeah, Tom, I feel for you, man. I feel for you on that. But if you're ready, you want me to go to my first pick?
Let's do it.
Okay,
Yeah.
Here we go. Now, speaking of obscure horror films nobody's ever heard of, I know this producer. His name is Joseph Williamson. He produces low-budget horror films and stuff like that. And he sent me this DVD. I don't even think this is available on physical media yet, this movie. He sent me this DVD. It's a low-budget, cheesy horror flick starring Brink Stevens and I guess McKim. It's called Beyond the Gates of Hell. It's done in the style of Fulci. If you've ever seen like a Fulci Italian horror movie, zombie movie, this is what it is. It's set in the like modern times, but it's shot very grindhouse, like with the cameras. You know, it's got the glitches, the dirt, the pops, and all that. And it's about this couple who move into this house in a rich California neighborhood where the basement is the gates to hell. And so, like, basically, it opens up and these zombies come out and all that stuff. It's like I said, if you have ever seen a Fulci zombie movie or have seen any clips from any type of Italian zombie movie, all that, this fits right in with that. It's done in that style. It's directed by Dustin Ferguson. Like I said, Brink Stevens from 80s Scream Queen from back in the day. She plays the realtor who sells the house. She's in it for quite a bit. And it's not a very long movie. It's only 55 minutes. It's got some funny like trailers in the beginning that are like a George Romero, like a trailer for like a George Romero zombie movie, and then a trailer for like a 60s hippie type zombie movie. They're pretty funny. They're very well made. It's very cheesy. And that's why I was curious who was the producer on that movie you showed earlier. It was liable to be the guy I know, Joseph Williamson. So shout out to him. Like I said, I don't think this is available on DVD, Blu-ray, or anywhere at the moment at the time. So this is basically one of the only few copies because they sent it to me. But it was a fun movie. I had a good time watching it. It was just right up my alley. Cheesy, crazy, campy, fun. And yes, there are boobs in it if anybody's curious. So there you go. There's my first pick of the night. Yeah, of course. Boobs. But it was a fun watch. I enjoyed it. So shout out to Joseph Williamson. I appreciate it, man. Thank you for sending this my way. If you're watching, because I know he actually may be watching. But yeah, there you go. There's my first pick of the night. I know you guys probably don't have much to say on that because I'm probably the only one of few people that have actually seen the movies.
Yeah, I never heard of it.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's very much in the vein of like an Italian zombie movie, and it's a fun. I found it fun. I like the dirt glitches and stuff, and the lines and the stuff. It's very 70s, very 80s. I dug it. Very grindhouse. Um, yeah, Steven, you would probably like this. It'd be something up your alley. You never know. It is California that they move into. But there you go. There's my first pick of the night. But if you want to go New Runner, what do you got?
Well, Tom mentioned this movie, uh, not getting a 4K from Universal. I happened to pick up Cocaine Bear.
Oh, it already came out. I
Oh,
forgot.
Cookie Man. I still have yet
Yeah,
to see it.
I was hoping this would be one of your picks, Tom.
I didn't even know it came out on disc. I just got the digital version.
Oh, I had no
They'll
idea it was
probably
out.
import it.
I was just looking around the store and I was like, oh shit, Cocaine Bear. Cocaine Bear's here. I'll buy it. Plus, it has a pretty nice slipcover, honestly.
Did you enjoy it?
I like it. I saw it in the theater.
Oh, that's right. I forgot you did.
Yeah, I saw it in the theater with my dad. I uh I like it. It could have been a lot better, honestly. I wouldn't don't like I'll tell you this, Greg. If you ever watch this movie, do not have high expectations.
I don't. I know
Don't.
it's just like a dumb fun movie, at
That
least
that's ex-
from what I've heard. And
that's exactly how I looked at it. Just a dumb fun movie. Don't think it's gonna be like the greatest thing ever because
no,
it's not. It's just
and
a Yeah, it's just a fun movie. That's all.
yeah, and
That's
it's like
really
we've
all
talked
it is.
about. It probably could have used another rewrite and a more skilled
Yes.
director to
Yeah.
go with the flow that it needed to go
Uh,
with.
yeah. That's those are like my only gripes really with this movie is that
Yeah, but it's still something I need to see. Who made that's Universal? You guys said
it's
so.
Universal. Yeah.
It'll be streaming on some streaming network soon. I don't know. I'll
Well,
pick it up eventually.
maybe Peacock if you have it. I don't
Maybe.
know.
Uh, I'm not much for streaming.
You know,
I
speaking of
have a few.
speaking of Universal, I really hope I hope they can release Renfield on 4K. That'd be great.
I am excited to see Renfield. I wish I could get to the theater. I have not
I
been able to get to the theater in forever, and
I
there's a couple I do want to see,
I really enjoyed it.
and it's like
I really
I
did.
probably won't get to see Guardians of the Galaxy in the theater, Part 3 in the theater, which I'm interested but weary about.
Yeah, I don't have interest more so just because of the Marvel stuff. But
I'm interested in seeing that because that's one of the last few that I like, but I don't have high hopes for it. But my brother's wedding is that the weekend it comes out, so I'll be at a wedding. So, um, yeah, but Cocaine Bear, I still need to need to check it out. Might be on Netflix. Fuck
yeah,
Netflix.
yeah, maybe. No, fuck you.
I know it's a Bruce Campbell clip.
Yeah, I don't know if Tom saw it, but yeah,
Yeah, that's cool that you get to see him though. But
yeah.
Tom, if you're ready, go ahead.
I didn't
Sorry,
meet him though.
I know.
Just saw him on stage.
One day,
Yeah, now I don't know what order to go in here because my fun one got.
Runner messed it all up for you.
It's all good. It's all good. I did do the full moon
I saw that.
deal, and I got some of my full moon movies. I only got one watched, and that was Subspecies. So we can talk a little bit about that. I hadn't seen it since it originally came out. Honestly, I don't think I've seen the sequels either. Which I got the sequels in my at least some of them in my initial bundle.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was a fun film. Too bad it doesn't look very good. It looks like crap.
Yeah, I
It
remember him
definitely
saying
needs
that.
a remastering for sure. But
But
no,
it's newly digitally remastered. It says on the Blu-ray.
it says that.
Full Moon. Go ahead.
It looks like it's a DVD rip.
Yeah.
Like it's bad. But the movie itself is kind of fun. Little it's drawn out in some bits, but it's an interesting kind of vampire tale that's not Dracula. You get a cameo by Angus Scrimm.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I can't think of the main guy's name now that's in it, but he's pretty
Radu.
good in it. Yeah, the guy who plays Radu, Andres Hove.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was fun. I love the effects. The effects are great with the
Mm-hmm.
little minion guys,
Oh
whatever
yeah,
you call them.
where he cuts his fingers off and
Yeah,
that's cool.
yeah. So I mean, in that respect, I thought it was fun. There's not much to really say about it. It's a pretty straightforward full moon movie that you can tell. I guess the only big thing to really say about it is I believe it was the first film to be shot in Romania after
Mm-hmm.
the communism stuff fell. So yeah, and Full Moon made a whole thing of going to Romania to shoot movies. So like
Yeah.
they're on the cusp of that. So yeah, I can recommend the movie, not so much the release. But I mean, as
Yeah.
far as like getting it through the deal, it's worth it because you get basically a year's worth of Full Moon streaming, which they have like all of their
Love
basic
it.
kind of movies and stuff, and their extras and stuff that they do, the podcasts and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, you get either the you can get the box set of Puppet Master, or you can get up to 12. I think it's 12 selections is what I got of their other films, and they got a pretty good selection. Like I got Trancers 2 and 3. I got
Nice.
the first 3 of these. I got a couple other Full Moon movies I just hadn't picked up yet. So you'll see them popping up over time here. So yeah,
Yeah. I do love that first subspecies. I am interested to see the fifth one, which we'll get to see on the Full Moon streaming service once they release it. Right now it's actually going making the theater rounds, which is unusual
huh?
for that. Yeah, because it's getting Alamo Draft House releases, everything. It actually looks pretty good because I think from my memory, because like I haven't seen the rest of the subspecies in a long time, but I actually did watch the first one not too long ago. The subspecies movies have actually been very popular and have been like more their, like they look like they're more movies than like some of the other movies they make. You know what I mean? Like when you're getting like Doctor Death, which is only like 45, 50 minutes long, and it feels sort of like a TV movie. It's great. I love it. But then you're getting like Subspecies, which has been a much more cinematic, like, and it really looks. The fifth one really looks good, and I remember the first one. That first one is good. It's a classic. It's very Dracula. Angus Scrimm was pretty cool in it. At the beginning. The Radu is just like creepy as hell. He works perfectly, and the chicks are hot. The boobs are great. It's a fun movie.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Well, have a good night, Sean Crummell. Glad to see you here as always, and the stream will be up for you tomorrow to check out. But thank you for hanging with us as long as you have. But yeah, if you guys not seen the subspecies movies, they're really good full moon movies. You really check them out. You'll dig it,
I
especially
just
that
wish it
first
was better
subspecies.
quality. Yeah, hopefully, if they do
Yeah.
a 4K of this, they actually go back and rescan it in like the Trancers and like I don't think they rescanned Puppet Master as well, but the 4K of that at least is an improvement. So
Yeah, yeah. But I still haven't watched my speaking of ones I got, which I got over a year ago, which reminds me because it's coming up. Um, the only one I haven't watched yet of the ones I got is Trancers 3. I've watched them all, but Trancers 3 of all my full moon features. So I need to finish that set out, and I'll have watched all those. But yeah, check out Subspecies. They're good movies. I'm interested to see what 5 is, and I know they don't have part 4 on Blu-ray yet. So Blu-ray or DVD, I believe. So that'd be interesting if that ever comes out. But good pick there, Tom. Good pick. Um, I guess we'll move to me. So I did do a review of this, and I had to get this one as soon as I heard it, and that would be Sorority House Massacre. This is actually a really fun movie. I had never seen the Sorority House Massacre before. I've seen Slumber Party Massacre movies, but I had never seen the Sorority House Massacre movie. This was a pretty tight slasher horror film. It's not, I mean, as these like Slumber Party, Sorority House Massacre type movies are, you go into them thinking they're like TNA horror movies. This one was actually a little different. It was pretty much like Halloween, Michael Myers meets Nightmare on Elm Street, and which I dug that aspect of the movie. And it's essentially this girl. Her aunt has just died, so she goes to stay with her friends at their sorority house for Memorial Weekend. All the girls are leaving except for like two or three girls, and so the girl goes to stay with them. And as soon as she walks in the house, she starts having these like Nightmare on Elm Street type dreams about like something that's happened in his house, like a murder. She's seen these murders and these little girls, and it's very, walls are bleeding and everything. And then meanwhile, at the psychiatric hospital, this guy is going nuts, and it's the guy she's dreaming about. So he breaks out. He goes to the sorority house, and he starts killing the sorority girls. And spoiler alert, if you don't want to know, close your ears. Turns out the girl is his sister. She was the only survivor of his murderous rampage because a family used to live there, and he killed his 4 sisters and his mom and dad, and she was his 5th sister, and she got away, and she grew up with her aunt. So that's the spoiler. And it's actually a pretty good movie, and I think I may like it better than Slumber Party Massacre, which I really like Slumber Party Massacre, and they're both Roger Corman movies. Now, of course, Sorority House Massacre 2 and Sorority House Massacre 3, also known as Hard to Die, are much more TNA driven. They're not so much slashery driven. I mean, it's just a bunch of girls running around in their underwear topless in the sequels, being chased by a serial killer. But this first one, if you're looking for like a real good like horror slasher film, because like this is a really good one, and it takes its time with the characters. So like you really get to know these characters and you feel for them, and I dig it. So if you guys got a chance to pick this up, I'd pick it up. Last I saw, 75% of these were left.
I got mine in the mail today. They were quick to send it out.
Yeah, I got mine super quick. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, because I think it was Friday. I think I dropped my order in because I was waiting. It was sitting in my. I got that and the other one they put out, the double feature one. I can't remember the title of it, but like I had it in there with Creepshow because I was waiting to get paid, so I could.
I missed out on the Kino sale.
I did get in on the Kino sale. That's why I had to wait because I was broke.
You know what's fucked up? I just realized this like a few days ago. I told like Tom and Greg that I had ordered some things in Kino, right? Like some of them were like 4K. One of them was a Blu-ray, and like I wanted to contribute in that sale, right? I find out that my fucking debit card declined my purchase.
Oh no!
So
this sucks.
Apparently, I don't know why. I'm gonna have to talk to my fucking bank about this shit, which is sad because the sale fucking ended.
Yeah,
email them; they might be able to help you out. They have a really great customer service department there. I talked to a dude on the phone. Yeah, like I talked to a dude on the phone, and he got me all sorted out because I had an issue of like. So I was trying to figure out why my movies weren't coming like I thought they were supposed to. It was because I ended up ordering a bunch of movies that came out at different times in pre-orders together instead of shifting them to where I would get them closer together. So he actually went in and made sure I kept the sale price on one of them and flipped them around to where the one would get here sooner because it was mixed with another. Like they did a great job with me over the phone getting my
shit. Kino's pretty good.
So email them, tell them there was some issue with your bank and you're trying to figure out what the problem was. In the meantime, is there any way we can sort it out or whatever?
I think the problem with it was I think I spent like over $150.
So you had the money in there. It's just still denied it because you hit your limit for the day, is what you're saying.
It's not so much the limit because like the limit I have is like 500 a day is the limit for my account. The problem is my bank sends me a text saying like, did you like confirm if you wanted?
Oh, it was a fraud thing. So that's all you got to tell them is that for some reason your bank flipped Kino over as fraud.
Yeah,
and, yeah.
I didn't realize this until a few days ago. I didn't realize they sent me a text.
But what you do is email their customer service. Make sure you got the order number that you're from your original order. Just tell them that's what happened. Is that you just realized that the order didn't go through because your bank flagged it as fraud for some reason. Is there any way you can get it fixed or whatever? They should get a hold of you probably.
I still have the order number because they have my orders saved in my account.
You should
be good. Yeah, just tell them.
As
long as your bank is fixed now to where they know that's not going to get flagged, then just tell them. And then, like I said, they'll either call you on the phone or be able to handle it right through email by just trying to send it through again. And you should get all the sale. They'll probably be good about giving you the sale price.
Yeah, that's cool. Because I even like texted my bank, like, because they give you the option, like, say yes if you meant to buy this purchase. Say no.
Yeah, if you don't do it within a certain amount of time, it'll. Yeah,
I didn't know. So like,
I had to deal with that once when I'm sitting in the middle of a fucking store And it was, believe it or not, it was a resale store. So I had like a stack of like $200 in CDs and movies. And my bank account flagged it as a scam. And I had to go through all this bullshit to get it. Like I was standing there for like 20 minutes. It was a fucking nightmare.
No, you know what's fucked up? So yesterday, I was I don't know if you knew this, Tom, but I went to Bruce-O-Rama, and Bruce Campbell was there at Chicago.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I didn't get to meet him sadly because apparently I had to pay a VIP ticket, so
Probably.
that was fucking lame. But
Yeah, that's the way it
it was
works.
it was a hell of a show, and you know, they were selling drinks and shit. Not I didn't get alcohol. Don't worry about that. I got I ordered a Coke, right? Like I
Rum and
ordered
Coke.
no, not rum. Just Coke. Just Coke. I ordered a Coca-Cola and I try to pay for it with my card and it's like it declined every fucking time. So I'm like, what the fuck's happening with my card? And then I like try to see if I got a text from my bank. It's like, oh, did you mean to pay this purchase with Kino Lorber? It's like, yes, fucking
Oh,
assholes.
yeah.
And I'm like,
Just
that's
call them
why.
and you'll get that figured out.
Yeah, I'll call Kino Lorber. I'll tell him what's going on.
But I missed out on the keynote sale because of this movie, Sorority House Massacre, and because of Superman 4K. That's why I missed out because I had been saving money for that stuff. But yeah, I Entertainment Wizard. I don't know because I know Scorpion released it before, but I know this is a new 2K scan. It it looked
Yeah.
good as far as I could tell. It looked great, and Tim Hayes. I heard the girls in Sorority House Massacre aren't as pretty as the ones in Slumber Party. That is true. That it is true. But that's why I think I like this one a little more because the girls in this movie feel more real. Like, yeah, these are the girls that would be staying behind at the sorority house while all the other girls went out for Memorial Weekend because they're not as pretty as those other girls, and their boyfriends are the nerdiest fucking dudes I've ever seen in a horror movie, and it makes it feel a little more real. So that's why I liked it a little better. And yes, it does contain the VHS UK cut on this. So it's not a whole lot difference. There's just a few scenes where like the girls are talking more. But the big thing that I really enjoyed is like they watched like a horror movie in the movie. And they cut out what they were watching. Like they went back and they like shot an old black and white Roger Corman sci-fi movie for them to be watching, and they cut that out of the film in the U.S. release. So that's not in the U.S. release; it's in the U.K. VHS version. But if you get a chance to pick this up, I know it's $30, but I think this is one of the few that I really think is worth the $30 if you guys can get it if you like these type of movies, because it's new 2K scan, new interviews, VHS extended cut, archival footage, Roger Corman interview, great stuff. And as far as I can tell, the scan looks great. So, but it did unfortunately cost me to miss out on Kino, but that's my fault because I didn't budget right. I mean, all the bills and all that's paid. It's just my movie budget kind of overextended itself. But anyways, there you go. There's my my second pick of the night. So, Runner, if you're ready for your next one, let's go to you.
All right, my next one, it stars two Quicksilvers, Nicolas Cage and what's his name, McLovin, and it's a comic book movie, and I probably gave it away. It's Kick-Ass.
Kick-Ass. I like the first Kick-Ass. The first one's pretty good.
Yeah, the first one's good. It's directed by Matthew Vaughn, who you might know directed X-Men First Class, and it's a comic written by Mark Millar.
Mark Millar.
Mark Millar. Some people say Mark Miller. It's like, no, I think it's Mark Millar. I think that's how you pronounce it.
This is one of those ones where the movie was in production at the same time as the comic was coming out, and I feel like the movie did a better job of telling
it. It did.
Especially the ending.
I could sort of tell by watching this movie. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, because it did it better because in like the original comic, Nicolas Cage's character, Big Daddy, he's actually not her father. He kidnapped her and raised her that way.
That and there's a girlfriend.
Yeah.
It's just,
gotcha. But
no, the movie did a lot better.
Yeah, Nicolas Cage was fucking hilarious in this movie.
He's fun in that one.
Good job, baby
Yeah.
doll, and then just shoots her in the fucking chest. But no, the cast is really good. Aaron Taylor Johnson. I guess he went by Aaron Johnson in this fucking movie.
That's before he married his wife and took her last name.
Uh, um,
Hey!
You know, he married a woman that was way older than him. He was like 20 something, and she was like 40, and she already had like 2 kids.
what?
Yeah,
Seriously?
yeah. And
Oh yeah, and
he took her last name, Aaron Taylor. Taylor, I think's her last name, and then Johnson's his last name.
I didn't know that. That's
Yeah,
funny. Um, McLovin is in it. He's the he's Mark Strong's son, and was it McLovin ends up being the villain in the
Yeah.
second
yeah,
movie.
yeah.
Second movie's all right.
You know what else is also funny about that
What?
is that Aaron Taylor Johnson plays Quicksilver. He played Quicksilver, right?
Yeah, and Evan Peters is in it.
Evan Peters plays Quicksilver too, and he was
I know.
in it.
I know.
So,
I saw
that's
me.
funny.
I saw a meme about that like a few years before I even saw this. So
And his character becomes Ass Kicker.
yeah, I know. Well, Evan Peters was recast in the
Yeah, he
second.
was recast the second one, but the character he played was, even though he's worse, he's not very good. But yeah,
Oh,
I enjoyed the
the
first one,
the
and
new actor.
yeah, he's
What's
not as
worse?
good
Yeah, I agree. I was just like, I'm like, why didn't they get Evan Peters back?
because he became a little more famous, I believe. So
Oh, because he started being Quicksilver.
yeah.
No, that's because that makes sense. He played Quicksilver more than Aaron Taylor Johnson did.
Yeah, I know he played Batman. It sucks. It happens. Good night, Skylar Biss. I hope you enjoyed the show tonight. And if you need to go back and rewatch it, it will be up for you tomorrow. So have a good one.
Hey, Nicolas Cage might be Superman in the new Flash movie. I hear.
Who gives a shit? That movie looked horrible.
Oh, the trailer looked bad. I'll only. Here's the thing. I hate to say this. I'm probably gonna watch it just because my friends are gonna watch it. I don't want to pay. I don't want to pay to see it. Like I don't want to pay like the money. Like because of reasons, but I don't know. I'll try to
Yeah.
get in some way. I'm curious about it. Yeah, yes, it looks like shit, but yeah.
Yeah, I'll wait till video on demand or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not interested in that. But yeah, Kick Ass is a good. I like the first one. Mark Miller knew what he was doing on that first
Yeah.
one.
What do you think of the second one though? I'm just
It's
curious.
all right.
Yeah.
It's
That's
fun, but it's not. It does
not
lose Nicolas Cage. You lose. Jim Carrey comes in and tries to fill that void of Nicolas
Yeah,
Cage.
he's like Jim Carrey was fun in the second one, I'll admit it. But yeah, he doesn't have the gravitas that Nicolas Cage has.
No, I mean it's still all right, but the first one's better.
No, first one is better.
Yeah,
Plus, like you're kind of at that point in the second one where like there's so many goddamn like people like dressed up in
yeah.
fucking garbage bags and shit, fighting crime to the point where it's like,
It gets
yeah.
a little more ridiculous in the second one.
Plus, like Lionsgate did the first one and Universal did the second. I don't know how that all worked out, but
I don't know. It's something to do with the rights because it was all independently done.
yeah. Well, was it because I got this movie when it was like when Best Buy had some of the Lionsgate titles for like $6 or some shit at one point last year.
Yeah.
It was like $5-6. I even bought some of the Rambo movies that they had available. So I picked Kick Ass up. I'm like, oh, that's a fucking deal.
Well, there you go.
For a movie like that, yeah.
Yeah.
I get that.
But how many do you got left, Runner?
Technically I have 3.
I have 2. Tom, you got 2 or 3?
Technically 3, but 2 of them I can do together. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll go on to you, Tom. See what you got.
All right. Well, the only 4K movie I had this week was 12 Angry Men from Kino
Oh,
Lorber.
nice.
The original classic film. Well, it's actually a remake of a TV live play.
Mm-hmm.
But I enjoyed it quite a bit. I thought it was very well done. It's got an excellent cast. Funnily enough, I ordered the remake, which I believe was like a Showtime made for TV movie back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
And lo and behold, it's included with this.
Gotta check those keynotes thing because they give you the extra all
That's
the
it right
time.
here. 12 Angry Men, 1997, directed by William Friedkin. Oh,
William Friedkin, Exorcist.
which is funny you mentioned that because there's an Exorcist connection here.
Yes.
William Friedkin directed the remake. In the original film, Lee J. Cobb is in it. Lee J. Cobb is in the original Exorcist, remember?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The part that Lee J. Cobb played in the original Exorcist was played by who in Exorcist 3? George C. Scott.
Yeah, George C. Scott.
George C. Scott plays the role that Lee J. Cobb played in the remake, directed by William Friedkin. So there's this weird, convoluted Exorcist kind of connection with this, but it's kind of neat that they have both versions on here. It was only $7.99 on the sale, and I believe it has the full screen version along with the widescreen version. So at least I'll just keep it, whatever, $7.99.
Yeah.
But you also get a bunch of other stuff on here with it as well. This is a rarity. They've started doing this now with a couple titles. I notice it's the 4K only for the movie, and then all the bonus features are on a Blu-ray along with it. So this is like I think the second or third time they've done this now. Which, whatever, it kind of keeps the price down because I think I paid $20 for this or whatever, brand new. So, and then the scan is really well done. It's from the negatives, so.
Isn't
really
Jack Lemmon in one of them?
He's in the remake. He plays the Henry Fonda role in the remake.
Yeah.
And I did watch it. I did watch it after this, and I enjoyed it. The only thing I couldn't understand about the remake, there's a couple things. I would actually say the original is still probably better, but the only thing about the remake I didn't understand was how the hell they managed to make it 20 minutes longer when there's nothing really added to it. It's weird. There's just a few minor lines here and there, so it's got to be all in the delivery of it. Because there's nothing new, nothing, and it's almost line for line the same. There's a few more lines in it, I guess, but not much. And there's a couple of the characters I'm not sure why they cast it that way and or didn't give that line to other characters. Because the guy who plays Bubba in Forrest Gump is in this, and he plays like the racist guy.
Really?
Yeah, it's like
I think I vaguely remember seeing the remake on TV because that's why I remember Jack Lemmon. But
and then like the one line that James Gandolfini says of the same character in the original film towards one guy, basically like, you shouldn't talk to an old man like that. You shouldn't treat him that way. If you do it again, I'll knock you out. Basically, like that is delivered to a totally different character than it should be. Because it's actually Bubba who's being the asshole through the whole movie, and you're like, why didn't you just say that line to him instead of?
Yeah,
there's some of them moments in it, but otherwise, it's a decent update. There's a few minor things that are updated in it. Otherwise, it's all exactly the same. So
yeah,
no, I could recommend it, especially considering you get both films in the package. It's worth it alone, probably. If you're a fan of the original, it's one of the most captivating movies that takes place in one room. In almost real time. Like the only time that they're not in real time is when they have like bathroom breaks and stuff. Clearly they kind of jump ahead, but like, yeah. But even then, you still get to see them in the bathroom talking.
Keep talking while they're in there. Yeah. Yeah, I think 12 Angry Men can be made today. It just would be drastically different.
Drastically different, unfortunately. Because the thing is even in the remake, you don't really think about it, but like, the reason there's only men in the jury is that women weren't allowed to be jury members, I think, until the early 70s, if I'm not mistaken. So that's probably why. I'm surprised in the 12 Angry Men remake, they didn't add like 2 women. To be honest
Yeah.
with you.
But it was still the 90s, so there was still wasn't quite at that level we're at now. So
No, but you can
Yeah.
tell it was filmed really well done by Friedkin, who's a master. I mean, so in that respect, you can't tell it's a TV movie in any way. I mean, it was shot for cable, but yeah.
yeah.
But don't give him ideas, Tyrell.
They added F words to the remake.
Don't
12
give
Angry
him,
Women.
don't give him ideas.
That's a whole
Tyrell.
different movie.
Yeah, that's
Oh
a
my
bunch of
God.
Karens together in one room complaining. I want to see the judge. I want to see the bell lift.
I want to see the judge's manager.
You send me
Directed by
his
Paul
wife's
Feig.
phone number
Oh!
now. Oh, that would be horrible.
Starring Melissa McCarthy, Leslie Jones.
Oh, no. Don't put that evil in the world.
I don't know if he's innocent, but I ain't ready to go home.
It would be called 12 Angry People nowadays.
No,
I know
12
that's the
Angry
problem,
Karens.
Brian. I mean, it's kind of a lost story in that sense. Like, I mean, if you did it now, it would almost have to be a period piece.
Yeah, like Glenn Ross.
I mean, the beauty of it is you don't really have to do anything to really spend any money to make it a period piece because it's all in one fucking room.
Yeah, it just takes place. Like so many people have copied that. Like so many, like they mentioned Jury Duty. Pauly Shore's Jury Duty is basically a
big
copy off of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like so many people have copied this formula. So,
but at least with Jury Duty, they get you out of like that's what I'm.
Yeah, he gets out and about. Yeah.
I'm surprised in both versions of the movie they didn't, because that was kind of the resistance. Originally, Henry Fonda had a hard time getting this movie made, because it would already been a TV teleplay. They're like, why the fuck would anybody go see a movie of something they watched for free on TV? Like the studios couldn't get behind that, so I guess Fonda had to come up with a lot of the funding himself. But I mean, the cast is stupendous, right? Like in both versions, it's worth mentioning. Because you got E.G. Marshall, Jack Warden in the original, Jack Klugman's in it, and he's really young in it. I mean, it's a great cast in the original, and then in the remake alone, you got, like you said, Jack Lemmon. You got the guy from CSI in it. You've got James Gandolfini. You've got, like I said, Bubba. You got Ozzie Davis in it. I mean, if anything, the remake's cast almost trumps the original, but the original is a better version of the story, if that makes sense.
It's like master class in acting in both films.
Yes.
Now see, kids, this is acting. Yeah. But that's a good idea.
You got George C. Scott screaming.
I love it. Like I mentioned before, George C. Scott.
Kids! I know he's guilty.
He's like that guy that like the Joker always talks about, that just one step away from having the worst day of his entire life, and he's always saying it like you can feel it coming at the end of his when
like
he
that
talks.
Scene in Exorcist 3, I think, is his best one, where he literally starts breaking down in fucking tears. It's like, okay, George Scott has finally just gone over the edge. Like, I don't think he's acting anymore.
Even like what I love is I know he's just like he's done. He's done. I love his Scrooge.
He starts crying and he just takes that beat like the finger on the victim was on the left hand. And he just says, that is my favorite scene in that whole movie. Put it back. It was on the right hand. What do you do that with us?
I love George C. Scott, man. The guy
and I
was
will
crazy.
say in the remake, the ending makes more sense. Like, I mean, it's the same ending, but like the original movie almost does it as kind of a twist. Because like you early on, I'm sorry if I'm spoiling this for anybody who hasn't seen it, but it's a pretty. You kind of already know how the movie ends.
You've seen it 100 times.
Knowing you've seen it. Oh yeah, Tony Danza was in the remake too. But like basically like the original version, it kind of makes it ambiguous up until the end. You realize that, you know, J. Lee Cobb's character is more or less, you know, because he brings it up early on in the movie and then he doesn't bring it up again until the end, and you realize that when he rips up his own, you know, son's picture of him and his son. Oh, that's what this is all about.
Yes.
See, in the new remake, they make it a little more obvious. like he brings it up a little bit more. Like again, like I said, they do add little bits here and there, but like it's not they don't like overdo it or anything. So it's like I'm sitting here watching it still because I'm like, I still don't see how they managed to add that much running time to the story because it is pretty much like a play, and most plays, no matter how you do them, you generally can't pad out the time much more than it already is without going slow. You know what
without
I mean?
stretching it too far.
And none of these actors are much different than any of the other actors to where I would be like, oh, well, I can see why, because you've got, that guy and that guy. And if you had Shatner in there, and everything would be 20 minutes of waiting for him to finish his line. That's not what it is either. So,
now I want to see a 12 Angry Men with Shatner.
I know.
That would be awesome.
You want him to be guilty. That's what it is. Preconceived notion.
Bruce Campbell talked a little bit about him meeting Shatner one day at a convention when he was young.
That would be a conversation to see between them two.
Oh my god, that would be amazing. Like I've always said, because I didn't grow up with Star Trek and all that. Like I'm obviously more into Evil Dead. Like I've always said recently, like Bruce Campbell is my William Shatner. But no, like someone in the audience asked him like who was like the best like celebrity that he's met or whatever, like an icon of some sort, and he's like, and he was like William Shatner, and I'm like that kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
And I think he was with his brother or something at like, and he didn't talk, and he was the only one out of all the people that Shatner met at that convention that didn't talk about Star Trek. and William Shatner was all excited talking to Bruce because he's like, yeah, didn't mention Star Trek.
Yeah, Shatner don't like talking about that. He likes talking about other things.
Yeah, no, Bruce Campbell, like, I forgot. It was a show that he watched with Shatner in it, and he did a slide of some sort. You might know what it is, Greg. And I forgot what it was exactly, but the show, but he mentions that to Shatner, and he like got all excited and shit. Which that was pretty cool. And I guess after I forget which exact movie Bruce Campbell won a Saturn Award for, and he dedicated the slide that he did in the end of Army of Darkness to William Shatner in the speech. I think that's what he said.
Oh. All right,
but no, like having those two having a conversation, like that would be like epic.
That'd be cool. But Tom, real quick, there you go for you about the 12 Angry Men.
They do such a great job of emulating the same character in two different times. Like, honestly, like the casting in the remake is almost brilliant in comparison. The only thing I didn't understand was some of the race swaps and how they played it out. Like I said, makes no sense for Bubba Gump to be
the racist,
and the ageist and the everythingist. Like I mean, because they made him like racist against Latinos and Puerto Ricans or whatever, because like that part hasn't changed. Like I think initially, like that's the thing, is they leave a lot of that inclination out of the film in the original one, to where they just kind of allude to this kid being like Mexican or of Latin descent of some type, and obviously either an immigrant or descendant of, and from like the lesser powder town or whatever you want to call it. In the remake, they flat out call him, like the Bubba Gump guy even calls him, I think, several racial slurs.
Some bad ones.
So like it just kind of comes off as just like, you're the last guy in the group I would see doing this shit. I don't know why. This was a very miscast situation, or they should have switched some things around there that maybe would have worked a little better. But yeah, no, other than that, I don't really have any complaints. Otherwise, it was pretty well casted. I mean, he honestly, as an actor, I don't mind him as an actor, but now after his whole history, he's one of those that I've had a hard time separating the art from the artist, because I don't know if you guys know anything about it, but he went to jail for a while for beating his wife, and some other
Mm-hmm.
shit like that. So like, yeah, and again, I can. That's not as bad as some things, I guess. I hate saying it that way, but
That's
still, it's
true.
just kind of one of those guys. Like he just kind of have a rough time watching
Yeah.
still
I
nowadays.
know that's what it's like. I remember, I think he had just gotten out of jail and he came on Justified with Timothy
Oh,
Oliphant.
is he back to acting again?
Yeah, he's been on a few shows.
I guess I haven't seen him in anything recently.
Yeah, if you ever seen the Justified TV show,
Oh, I
he
know
was
what
on
it
there.
is, but yeah,
Yeah,
I just
he was on there. He comes on and stays on for quite some time on that show. But it was weird because it's like I think it was pretty sure it's like right after he got out of jail, he got onto that TV show. So
huh. Well, in the NFL, that's forgivable, I guess. So
yeah, happens.
why not in the
Um,
movies too and TV?
yeah, everybody I guess deserves a second chance. It just depends on what you do with it, I suppose.
But yeah, as
Um,
far as acting chops, though, Jack Warden definitely is a better
oh yeah.
actor than Tony Danza. I mean,
Ew, away.
but I thought Tony did a pretty decent job of an updated version of that character. Yeah.
Yeah. Um. All right. I guess we'll move on to me, and I'm actually pulling a runner. I just realized, uh, with all the talk that we did earlier with all the
What?
Chuckies. Yes, with all the talk we did with Chuckies. But this is only 4K I watched, and this is from you, Tom. I finally got to this that you sent me. But I have Cloak and Dagger,
Logan
written by
Dagger.
Tom Holland. That's why I say it's written by Tom Holland.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, it's actually written by Tom Holland and directed by Richard Franklin. They did Psycho 2 and Cloak and Dagger. So you got a Mother's Day and a Father's Day type movie that you can watch.
Oh.
Yeah, but I hadn't seen this movie in years, and I used to get it confused with War Games. But this one is a
Mhm.
pretty fun movie. I had not seen it in so many years, and this comes from Vinegar Syndrome. It's Universal. The 4K scan looks great. I just take out all the goodies here. Get them over. This is like a classic '80s flick here. I love the Atari slipcover case that they have here with the price tag. So, and then of course I took it, the original. So essentially here, Henry Thomas, that we know from ET. He plays this game, Cloak and Dagger, this computer game, and he sees. And for a minute there, I always thought they were saying Jack Black, but his name's Jack Flack with the Flack. He sees him as like his imaginary friend. And he wants to be a spy to Henry Thomas, and he ends up going into a real like spy mission. He sees the scientist kid guy get killed in front of him, and he gives him this game, a Cloak and Dagger Atari game, that has a secret code on in on it stuff, and so he like basically goes on the run from them with his friend and his dad. Dabney Coleman is great in dual roles in this because Dabney Coleman plays his dad and he also plays the spy character of Jack Flack. So he's playing these like two sides, like what I would imagine Henry Thomas wants his dad to be, because his dad's in the Air Force. Is like this brave guy teaching him to do all this, be this hero, and then his dad's like trying to be a dad because they lost their mom. And it's just this really great '80s, slice of '80s culture, and it's fun to watch. And the fact that this kid kills 3 people, this kid literally kills 3 people in the movie, which is crazy to think about back in the day. But yeah, Tom Holland wrote this, Richard Franklin directed it, and it's a really solid movie. I thank you, Tom, for this, seriously, because this was I was going to pick it up with from Vinegar Syndrome, and then you managed to get 2 extra ones, and so you sent it to me. So I'm really glad that I appreciate that, man. Thank you. This was a fun watch.
No
I hadn't seen
problem.
it in years. I had not seen it in so many years, and it was just I had a fun time watching it. And like you, I really didn't know Tom Holland directed it till I was watching the opening credit, or wrote it till I was watching the opening credits. I was like, holy shit, Tom Holland wrote this. Then Richard Franklin. And so it was a fun movie. Runner, that movie I think would be right up your alley if you've never seen it. It's a fun movie.
I've heard of it.
It's a great father-son movie, great like action spy flick for a kid, and it's got some pretty good twists and turns in it that you don't expect or see coming right off the bat. So
I want to buy like a few things from Vinegar Syndrome, but they're so fucking pricey.
that's why I don't always buy right off the
They're
bat.
worth
from
it though. That's the thing.
Yeah,
Is they usually make it
I-
worth it.
yeah, they do.
But you got to be a pretty big fan. I totally understand. Like,
yeah, like I'm aware, like that they're worth it. I would think. Like I'll get like Roadhouse. I like Roadhouse. I think I love that movie.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if I'd want to pay that much for it. Like, is it really worth it if you like Roadhouse?
I'd say yes. Me
Okay.
personally.
I
but
mean, I probably don't like Roadhouse as much as you, but like, I wouldn't mind getting Texas Chainsaw 2.
that one is worth it. 100 times worth it.
See, and I don't know. Part of me wants to get Showgirls, but I don't even know.
Personally, I know Culture Casino loves the movie, but I thought the movie was crap, so I don't know if I really want to buy a 4K version of it. I mean, like I said,
I watched half of it on Tubi.
Like I said, it was fun to see Jesse from Saved by the Bell get naked, but
yeah, I was gonna say that's the only thing like decent about it. Everything else is like kind of boring as shit.
Yeah, it's a boring movie.
Really
I probably won't pick it up. I probably won't, but I wouldn't shame anybody if they want to because it's. I would say, regardless of how I feel about it, it's probably worth it. It's probably worth it. So
that's the thing. I'd get it if it's like cheaper. You know what I mean?
You might get this Cloak and Dagger one cheaper. It comes from Universal, so you never know. They might release like they do.
Okay.
Like a movie only one,
Yeah, the movie only one. But this was fun. Seriously, I know I said it already, but thank you, Tom. This was fun. I'd been wanting to get to this for a while, in my stack of movies I have set up for the watch, and I finally got to it. 4K scan looked great. The grain looks great. The movie looks clear. Dabney Coleman is freaking awesome in this movie. Henry Thomas is amazing. You could tell he was a great child actor. It's just a fun 80s flick that I loved. And it's something that, like we talked earlier about Vinegar Syndrome doing like B movies and porn. This is not nowhere near that. This is like father-son kid bonding type movie. So, and I loved it. And Brian Barth, I think Tom Holland, the director, is better than the actor. That's me. I mean, some people may think differently, but I think he's way better.
I agree. I mean, I don't hate Tom Holland. I think he's good in.
No, I don't hate him either. I just think the director's better.
Oh, that's not even a question. The director's better. Nothing against the actor. I thought. I think he's good as Spider-Man when he actually gets to play Spider-Man, like in Spider-Man No Way Home. I thought he was really good in that. I actually liked him in what was that movie? The Devil All the Time, I think is what it's called. I actually really liked. I thought he was really fucking good in that. Like that actually showed that he had some acting chops.
Right. But he's not a bad actor though. But yeah, I gotta go Tom Holland. The director. He's pretty cool. Plus, I've actually surprisingly, he's one of the few people that you can talk to on Twitter. Like when you tweet something out and you type something to him, he'll either like your tweet or actually respond to you. So I like that.
That's cool.
Yeah.
But I mean, like fucking like Fright Night, like come on.
Yeah, Fright Night, Child's Play, Psycho
like,
2, Cloak and Dagger.
Psycho 2, he just wrote it, right?
I know, but I'm like talking about like the way what he writes and directs, man, is great.
No, I know. Like, I mean, the way he like makes films is like he's like the best like Hitchcock type director. You know what I mean? Like he's Hitchcock 2.0, but in a good way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I know Tom said this before. Like Fright Night is literally if Alfred Hitchcock made a vampire movie, that would be it.
Yeah.
Like that's literally what it is. It's like there's so many like elements in that movie that you can tell are like from like movies like Rear Window and all that type of shit.
The only difference I would say is like if Hitchcock got his hands on Child's Play, I think he would have made it more like the original script. And left you like hanging more through the movie.
Was it the boy?
Is it the kid?
Is this kid a freaking psychopath?
And then he'd wait till the very, very last bit to have the I'll fucking kill you like scene out of Chucky kind of basically.
Yeah.
You stupid bitch, you filthy slut! I'll teach you to fuck with me.
I love that scene.
See that would be a Hitchcock type of thing to direct.
Like actually, there you go. Like the battery scene is a Hitchcock scene.
Yeah, it's very much a Hitchcock scene. Yeah,
totally a Hitchcock scene.
Oh,
like
yeah.
I could see that. Like at that one moment, he would have saved until the very, very last bit, and then Chucky would have attacked. Like, and that would have been it.
Yeah. But yeah, I was kind of surprised too because I hadn't seen Cloak and Dagger in such a long time that Tom Holland was the writer and Richard Franklin, who did Psycho 2, was the director. So yeah, he's very much in that vein. And speaking of like twist and turn, that has a lot of great twists and turns in it that you don't see coming. But yeah, I agree. I agree with everything you guys just said.
Which I know it doesn't sound like that's what Hitchcock would do, but he totally would, right?
Oh,
it would
yeah,
go against the expectations.
Totally.
Because normally
100%.
you would expect Chucky to be the bomb under the table, but it's not. The bomb under the table is it the kid or not?
Yeah.
Then the true terror is, holy shit, if it's not the kid.
What is it? It's the
fucking doll is alive.
It's his life. Which, I kind of wouldn't mind seeing that version of Chucky made.
Well, that's what pissed me off when they did the remake. It's like, if you're going to remake it, make Blood Buddies. Don't fucking make Child's Play. Make Blood Buddies, because that's similar but different in a sense too, but it's more of for those who don't know the difference, the original movie, Buddy was Chucky, and Buddy was the name of doll. They had to change the name, obviously, because of My Buddy.
Yeah.
And the thing is, though, how Chucky came to life was he wasn't Charles Lee Ray in that version. It was the doll bled. Like, that was kind of the whole point of it, was like, you get this doll, but if you played too rough with it, it would actually get cut and bleed, and you had to buy, Buddy brand Band-Aids and all that kind of stuff, and a Buddy doctor kit, and all that kind of crap. Just more ways of getting you to consume, stuff for the doll. And they have a little elements of that with all the like accessories for good guys in the movie, but like that's kind of what the whole idea was. Well, one night Andy mixes his blood with Chucky, right? In like in a blood brother ritual. So like, yeah, so that's kind of how the doll finally comes to life. And throughout the story, you're like, is it the kid or is it the doll? Because they never show you until the end. But what it is the doll is actually Andy's id acting itself out. So it's always when Andy falls asleep, and then Chucky would come to life, or Buddy in that version.
Yeah.
And in fact, the way the babysitter died in the original story is the way that Tiffany dies in Bride of Chucky. Tom Holland actually changed, and that's the one thing in that Chucky documentary, I guess I learned that I didn't know before. And Tom Holland changed it in his version to having her get pushed out the window because he thought it was more cinematic. But then again, it works so much better in the Bride of Chucky anyway, because that's probably most people's favorite deaths in all the Chucky movies. Just the way it works out, and Chucky playing in the bubbles and all that kind of stuff with the Bride of Frankenstein playing on the TV and everything works brilliantly. So that's kind of cool. You learn that, but like, yeah, I would have loved to have just seen like an original version of the original script, just as kind of an also ran.
That would have been interesting. That would be cool. Now, see, I told you I pulled a runner. So I should have brought that on after we talked to Chucky's. Right. Yeah, so, but I didn't stay on theme. I didn't stay on theme.
Yeah, Greg, fucking Greg gets a pass on that shit, but I don't.
Well, he did bring it up earlier, so
yeah. But yeah, there you go.
I didn't even know it was anything to do with Tom Holland until he just said it, though. I have the damn movie. I just haven't watched it yet.
It looks good. It's a pretty good transfer.
So what you're saying is Greg got lucky.
Nah, I don't do it as often as you.
I know. I don't even do it that much. You guys just like you guys just go crazy when I do that shit because it just happens.
Tim Hayes, what does it mean when I pull runner? That means I brought in a movie after several
something
picks.
Runner usually does, yeah.
After several picks, that's something we already talked about, which I should have brought up earlier.
No. So I'll make a good example, and this is where I could have brought it on earlier. I just didn't think to do it. I don't know why. I just didn't. Of many reasons. For some reason, Tom brings up Wayne's World. I think it's the No, it wasn't the 4K, or maybe it was. I
Yeah,
have
it
no
was a
idea.
4K. He had the 4K.
No, I know it was I was like, I'm trying to remember if it was a Blu-ray 4K, but it was probably the 4K at this time. And then my last pick was Bohemian Rhapsody, which had Mike Myers
Yeah.
and like they played
Pays homage to
both.
the scene, yeah.
Yeah.
And I know, and I totally forgot that Mike Myers was in the fucking movie, and the whole connection to that movie, I totally forgot. And Tom was like, I think I said it was a music biopic, and he's like, don't tell me it's Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah,
It
see,
was.
you got to stay on theme, runner.
I
But
didn't
speaking of which,
know.
it's to you. What do you got?
That's the
Bis
point.
Milne?
That's the point. I don't know. I didn't know. I mean, I did know, but I forgot.
Nobody's gonna be listening to this headbanging in their cars.
Dun, 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 dun. But what do you got, runner? What's your next pick?
All right, so this is
Should be his last pick, ain't it?
No, he's got like two more compared
what
to
the
us.
hell?
I know. I got one more, and you got one more.
All right. I guess I'll split them up.
All right. So technically, these are two things, but they all relate. So you can relax.
Okay. So
Good night, Brian Barth. Have a good one.
No. This is not my last pick. No.
Then how the fuck did he do this?
I don't know.
I'll explain it. So
how does he know it? How does he understand how he fucked up?
Because he's runner.
because I said I had 6. That's why. I technically have 7, but I'm using these 2 as one pick.
Oh, that's what you did. Never mind.
Okay. Yes, that's what I did. Okay, so I
you still did your 7th. Gotcha.
Kind of. So I already showed the first movie on 4K, and it was I think it's an only Steelbook movie that you can get on 4K. It's not a rare Steelbook. You can actually get it. You could probably just it probably wasn't that expensive, but I got these 2 on a sale. One of them I got from Groove, and the other actually bought for like $5 at Best Buy. But I just get it over with. It's Hellboy 2 and the 2 animated movies.
Oh, I've never seen the animated ones, but I've seen Hellboy 2.
They're all right. Hellboy 2 is really good.
Yeah, one's like a prequel, and the other one's like in between the two, I think.
Yeah,
kind of.
Yeah, something like that. It's been a while since I've seen them.
Yeah, I haven't never seen the cartoons.
The cartoons.
They have all the voice actors though in it.
Yeah, they brought back Ron Perlman and Doug Jones.
Perlman.
Isn't even what's his face from the first film in one of them too? Because that's why I said like one's a prequel because it has, or at least flashbacks in it anyway.
And the chick. Who
she's in it too. And then, but no, like the guy from Alien. Jesus, what's his name?
Oh, yeah. Oh, what is his name? The guy. It's the chest burster. It's Alien Day today, by the way.
That guy.
Yeah. I can't think of his name. I know who you're talking about.
Doesn't he come back and do a voice in one of those, Runner? I swear, the old guy.
I don't remember. Which one is it? Is it Sword of Storm?
I don't remember.
He's the dad. Dude. He's the dad.
Yeah, he's the dad, but like, isn't he in one of them?
Hellboy's dad.
John Hurt.
John Hurt. Yeah, John Hurt.
John Hurt. Yeah, he was one of the doctors in Doctor Who.
Dude, he was awesome as, and you guys don't watch Doctor Who, but he was awesome as the War Doctor. But anyway,
I did watch some Doctor Who back in the day.
Yeah,
I'm just not into it as some other people.
Oh no, not again.
I love that Spaceballs. What did he have?
Water my ass! Get this man some Pepto-Bismol!
No, but Hellboy 2 is really good.
Yeah, Hellboy 2 is great. I like that one.
Yeah, it's a good sequel. I wouldn't say it's as good as the first, but
the first one is much more smaller in scale. The second one is like sequel; it gets bigger.
You can tell it was a more higher budget movie.
Yeah, and it made less.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it wasn't a very big hit. That's why they never did the third one.
Damn. But no, Guillermo del Toro is a great director.
Mm-hmm.
I would say because Hell was it the first Hellboy? I think came out 2004. I think it was
Somewhere
right.
around there.
It was somewhere around there, which is the same year Spider-Man 2 came out. So like right around there, that was like a good era for comic book movies. Like you had two filmmakers who actually, you know, unlike the people working on comic book movies today, like you actually had fans working on that shit. You know what I mean? Sam Raimi for
Yeah.
Spider-Man and Guillermo del Toro for Hellboy. Like
You know, it's,
those are fucking fans who actually have a passion for what they're
it's,
doing. You know what I
it's
mean?
funny you're talking about comic book movies, and which, staying on theme, my last pick will have something to do with the comic book movie. So,
Oh.
yeah. Which is
But
rare. I mean, hey, I was a huge comic book fan, comic book movie fan, which I don't talk a whole lot about anymore. But you'll see when I get to it.
nah, I get. But
Yeah, he did do Blade 2.
oh
Guillermo del Toro.
yeah, I forgot he
Yeah.
did Blade
It's
2.
some of the worst CGI I've ever seen, but he did do Blade
Oh
2,
yeah.
and
Well,
which is
yeah.
a great movie though.
It is good. I don't like it as much as the first one, but
No,
some people like Blade 2 more than the first one, and I'm like,
I
I
know
don't
some people
see it.
do. It's got
I
a
was
it's got a better story than the first movie.
Yeah, I could see it. I just think the crazy CGI shit and all
Plus,
that. Which
Guillermo del Toro directed the second movie, so
yeah, I mean it was too. I mean, it was like crazy Guillermo del Toro. I mean, which is fine. Like I watched a little bit of Pan's Labyrinth because I have it on 4K,
hmm
but I'm trying to find the time to watch it. I did watch his Pinocchio movie. I thought it was very good.
they said it was. They said it was pretty good.
It's good. I know you hate Netflix, but it's actually pretty good. I would actually
Yeah,
really like it if Criterion like did a 4K release of that. That would be pretty cool.
maybe one day. Um,
It makes sense. It won an Oscar for best animated movie.
it's true. So,
Um,
and how many you got left now?
now I have two.
You have two left. I only have one, and Tom's
Yep.
got two. So, how do you guys want to do this?
Should me or Tom go first?
I'll go to Tom right now, and then I'll probably go back to you.
All right.
I mean, I can split these movies up.
I got one left, so however you guys want to do your last picks,
Well,
let
it's
me.
just obvious that one of them is the first one and then the other one's a sequel, so I will be pulling a runner too then.
Okay. Man, everyone's pulling a me.
So yeah, being 420 this last week, of course I had to watch the 45th anniversary of Up in Smoke.
Right.
Since we didn't get the fucking 4K that we were promised.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But but no, this looks good. It's from a 4K master. Which is sad that we still haven't got it on 4K. It sounds and looks great. They did a great job remastering the sound as well. Got a couple of extra features, nothing to really write home about, but oh shit, I forgot to grab my other piece of this anyway. I actually have the record version as well that has the movie in it too. I'll just bring up a picture of it.
Oh, is that record thing? Like the
Well,
RCA thing?
let me show you here.
Up in Smoke. You got a hot dog?
I've got this one here as well. I forgot to bring it upstairs for some dumb reason. I totally spaced it out. Well, I'll just show you the picture of it.
Okay.
It's just got like got the soundtrack on CD and record, the movies with it too. It also comes with a movie, a little 7-inch record single of Earache My Eye, some other goodies, stuff like that. The big rolling paper.
I like that.
Yeah, that's a nice set. It's a nice set. But yeah, no, Up in Smoke's a classic. I don't know if you guys have seen it or not. I
I've seen
imagine
it.
you've seen it at least.
Yeah, I've seen it.
I should watch it, but I haven't.
You get a goddamn job before sundown. or we're shipping you off to military school with that goddamn Finkelstein shit, kid. Son of a bitch.
No, but I do.
Nah, but
I do.
Wow,
I do
man, I
wanna
didn't even
watch
know
it.
your name was Alex, man.
You know,
I love
Where
that
is it?
movie.
Ah, it's Pedro,
It's so
man.
good.
Pedro's not here. Ah.
maybe if I smoked more weed, I'd probably
First
watch.
gear. Yeah. Second gear.
Yeah.
Ooh, third gear. Hey.
Which one is the one with Pee Wee Herman's in it as the bellhop?
I'll get to that.
Okay. Okay. That's
Hey, man, I'll just come get out right here, man. This is great here. What are you afraid of a little speed, man? Oh, wow, man, you got some speed?
Tommy Chong is great. Your Tommy
man,
Chong
I
is
ain't
great.
never smoked no shit like that before, man. What is that, man? It's a little Maui Wowie, but it's mostly Labrador, man. What's Labrador, man? Dog shit. What? You mean I smoke dog shit, man? Well, my motherfucking dog ate my stash, man. I had to follow around with a baggie for like 4 days, man.
I remember that. Oh, it's been so long since I've seen Up a Smoke. I need to watch that one again.
Tom Skerritt's really good in it too. Is Strawberry.
Yes. Speaking of
man,
Alien Day,
having a non-flashback again, man.
Oh, that's so good. I remember
Who's this? This is Hard Hat. Lard ass? No, Hard Hat. Who is this? You don't know who this is? No, who is this? Bye-bye, lard ass.
You do not need to be a stoner to watch those movie runner because they're freaking hilarious as is. It's just fun.
No,
movies.
I was trying to make a joke saying that if I had smoked more weed, I'd probably watch it.
Oh, this is the most quotable of all their movies. Mm-hmm. So it is hilarious.
No, my friend told me because some of my friends smoke a lot of weed. And one of my friends told me that Up in Smoke was one of the ones they watched when they were high. I think another one that my buddy watched was 2001 A Space Odyssey.
I loved these as a kid.
Oh,
right, I grew up on these, and even before I ever even tried pot, I saw all these movies. So like, yeah, you totally they're a lot like kids movies, to be honest with you, with tits and ass and F words and drugs.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, because there's no real plot to any of them. There's just a bunch of randomness, of goofiness and like skit scenes. I mean, the basic plot of the film is Cheech and Chong meet up. They're Pedro and I can't even remember what Chong's name in the movie was now. They think they just call him Man, if I remember right. But like they meet up and they decide to they got to get some pot. So the whole thing starts from them going to get some pot, and they get deported. and so when they're over the border, Cheech calls his uncle and he's like, do you have any way of getting us home? And he's like, yeah, I got this van that's got to be brought up. And it turns out that this van is made completely out of weed from head to toe. And on the other side, you've got these cops who are looking for this van. So it's like this cat and mouse thing for the last half of the movie. And then on the way back, they find out about this battle of the bands. And there's like, it's set up earlier in the movie that Cheech is part of this band and Chong knows how to play drums. It's like, you know, there's little bits and pieces here and there, but it's more or less just like a stringing together of vignettes and skits.
Yeah, it's basically their comedy stuff together.
Some of it is straight off the albums. Exactly. Yeah. Like when I went to see them live, they did the whole Pedro and Man bit in the car. Like, but they did the album version, right?
Right.
So, I mean, and there's only various differences, but like, yeah.
Yeah. And that's the one with the where he sings that song, right? Tie my pecker to a tree. Right? That's that one.
I think that's Still Smoking.
See, it's been so long, and I remember watching them all together at one time.
I think that's when he brings Red back, who will actually come up in the next one.
Okay. Yeah, see, because I watched all of them a while back, all of them together at one time. So they're blending into my head.
Yeah, see, I actually know them really well because at least the first 4 or whatever, 3 or 4, because I've seen, well, 5, but I don't,
I
Things Are
never
Tough
liked
All
the
Over was a
Corsican
tougher one to
brothers.
find. And the Corsican Brothers was another one I was never a big fan of because it
Yeah,
is
I
a
was never a
Cheech and
big fan
Chong
of that
movie, but
one.
it's not like, it's like, it's not like their other movies. So
Yeah,
yeah,
it's like they're like, English or whatever. It's just like I never really dug
it's
that
like if
one.
Monty Python decided to make a Cheech and Chong movie
Exactly,
for some reason.
exactly.
It's really
Yeah,
weird.
yeah. But those good movies. I actually have the Up in Smoke on VHS. I bought it not too long ago on
Oh,
VHS.
nice.
Yeah. I don't think it's the original release though, but it was. I saw it. I had to have it. Um, but yeah, it's fun. Those are fun movies. I love it, and that's why I remember that the song, "Time I Packed Your Tree," because if you were a fan of Korn and you bought their CD, I can't remember which CD it is, but at the end, if you let the last song play, that song plays. The Cheech and song plays at the end of the record. It's a secret hidden song on the CD. So, but yeah, it's a fun movie. I love that movie. But if you're done, we'll go back to you, Runner, I guess, and we'll see what you got.
All right. This movie right here is it's a good court drama. I know I probably should have brought it on when Tom.
Here we
did.
go. He pulled a runner
He
too.
pulled the
I,
Runner.
I pulled another runner. This one is I'm pretty sure most people have seen this.
Why couldn't you have
got
started with this?
Yeah.
I don't know why.
It would have made my night so much easier. I had my selections in order, and I'm like, fuck.
I wanted to talk about Megan because I know you guys were.
Well, it would have worked better to have Megan segue into Chucky, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but didn't you show Chucky like right after?
I meant to
did?
show it first, though. So if you would have showed this, whatever you're about to show next first, then I would have bounced off it with 12 Angry Men, which was originally my first pick.
Shit, it's all fucked up between us.
Yeah, see, this is where I've said maybe in the future we should coordinate. I know this is kind of a surprise. We do this. Okay, you guys out there are like, why are you surprising us with this shit? It's actually more for us. I'll be 100% honest with you. Because sometimes we'll tell each other what we're watching, but most of the time we keep it as a surprise.
Yeah.
And this show would probably run a lot smoother if we just tell each other what we're fucking watching.
I always work under the Regis Philbin thing where he didn't like to talk to his co-host beforehand because he likes the conversation to be more natural. But a lot of times we need to actually communicate sometimes with our picks.
Yeah, it's being in this business as long as I have, you kind of do. You can still act surprised.
I was
Yeah.
Hey, it's fun to be surprised.
But it works out nicer because we coordinated seeing Megan. He and I
Yes. Yep.
So like that worked out. And like if I would have had flashback in time, I would have watched it last week.
Yeah.
I didn't get it until the other day. So
Greg and I coordinated with the Lost Boys 4K that one day.
See, those seem to work out a little better.
Yeah.
Maybe we should look into doing that in the future. But anyway, what do you guys?
Yeah, what do you got?
All right, I got a movie that stars Tom Cruise, Jack Nicholson, and Demi Moore, and that is
You Can't Handle the Truth.
You can't handle the truth.
Did you order the Code Red?
Is that the Raptor version?
What's up?
Is that the Raptor version?
No. Yeah, goddamn right I did.
That Demi Moore was a hot piece of ass.
she was. No, she was. The whole cast was great.
It's a great film, but the ending is very kind of convoluted. I don't know if you feel the same way, but
I this is how I felt about the ending. When Jack Nicholson shows up in court, I kind of knew it was him at that point. Like I found it.
Well, it's not just that. It's like all Nicholson had to do is keep his cool. Right? This whole movie, the whole case is predicated on Tom Cruise being able to jack up enough to basically blow it. That's really what this case is all, if you really paying attention, right? Yeah. Because it's all Jack Nicholson goes, because that's the whole I want the truth scene. Mm-hmm. Right? He goes, I want the truth. You want the truth? You can't handle the truth. Then he literally breaks into the whole thing. He's like, yes, I did it, and I do it again.
Yeah.
Basically,
Yeah.
a scene that was done better in A Time to Kill.
Mm-hmm.
With, yes, they deserve to die, and I hope they burn in hell. And then oh no, yeah, cringe, because you're like, shit, we just lost the case.
Yeah. Oops.
No, it's a great fucking scene, but I'm just like, not just even telegraphed, Steven, but like, really, like, all Jack had to do is be Jack like he was through the rest of the movie. It's
Yeah.
almost against his character. It is really, it's one of those things, like when people ask, well, like Civil War and stuff like that is like, people start dissecting Baron Zemo's plan. It's like, really only this and that work if, and only if, this individual and that individual do this, and this individual actually does this. So it's like one of those kind of things. It's like, the only way Tom Cruise wins this case is if he gets Jack to crack on the stand. He's taking a risk and a half. Like, that's...
Yeah.
I love the film, though. I do. Don't get me wrong.
It's a good movie.
Good.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where it's like, it's almost a shark blowing up moment. But
My
yes, you
shark
can
blows
buy
up.
it. But like, you're like, oh, it's like Jack. I think in real life that would not have gone down. That Jack would have just been like, nope, I'm sticking with my story, and that's all there is to it. And then the case would have been over with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw something today, Runner, that I think I was wanting to send it to you. It was hilarious. It's about Tom Cruise. He's this comedian. He was doing, you guys, he was like, you ever seen Tom Cruise movies? He's like, he was a cocktail maker, one of the great cocktail makers. Then he starts to doubt himself. Then he meets a hot chick, and she convinces him to go back to being a cocktail maker, and he becomes the greatest cocktail maker. Next, he was a race car driver. Pretty great race car driver. Then he doubts himself. And then he meets a really hot chick, and she convinces him to go back to being a great race car. First, he's a great pilot. Then he starts to doubt himself. Then he meets a hot chick who convinces him to go back and be a great pilot again. It's like every Tom Cruise movie ever made.
Well, I can't say that for every Tom Cruise movie.
I thought, oh man, this reminded me of Runner. But yeah, A Few Good Men is a pretty good movie. It's a great movie.
Well, actually, like, they sort of tease it in this movie. Like, they kind of tease that Tom Cruise would possibly have a relationship with Demi Moore, but they don't. Like, they don't actually date, which is different from almost every Tom Cruise movie, because there's always like a blonde or someone in like every Tom Cruise movie that like hooks up. I mean, I'm trying to think what other. I mean, Tropic Thunder, obviously he didn't have a date in that.
Yeah, but that's not a Tom Cruise movie.
Okay, that's true. Yeah. Well, I mean, he's in it, I guess.
It's still not. I'm talking like if he stars in a movie.
Okay. Does Magnolia count? I know Tom doesn't like that.
You had to bring up Magnolia around Tom. Why would you do that? It's going to rain frogs, man.
I watched that movie and I thought it was alright.
You beat me to it.
The raining frogs thing.
You know who else liked that movie? Kevin Smith. Just kidding.
Yeah, but he was called fat.
Actually, I think he makes fun of it too, to be honest with you.
I mean, Tom Cruise in that movie was like pre-Les Grossman, but I know I told Greg and Tom about my whole story about getting this 4K.
Yeah, you got fixed, right?
Yeah, so here's the thing. I got this as a birthday gift.
Yeah, it was an oddball. I saw that. I couldn't believe it.
So it was in a weird like plastic packaging. Like somebody like repacked it in there. And even the plastic wrap was like, it was too thick. Like it was like a completely different material. So then I open it up and it's like, it comes with a new Blu-ray, and then I could tell it's got an older Blu-ray, and I don't see anywhere.
The best I can fathom, if it wasn't a factory issue or something happened, somebody must have gone through the fucking trouble for some goddamn reason of buying the 4K, and they had the old Blu-ray,
Yes, they did.
And
I
they
think that's what it
actually kept the 4K and repackaged, at what expense I don't know, for a $15 4K Blu-ray, dude. Seriously? Is it really worth? And then driving back to the store.
Somebody
That's
really wanted it badly.
that's
I just
crazy.
don't see, like, I mean, I know, like, back in the day, the big thing was is kids would come in with razor blades and steal DVDs that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But for
yeah.
this to work out the way Runner showed us, because he showed us the pictures, it literally had the old original Sony release on
Yes,
Blu-ray,
that's what
Mhm.
it was.
the remastered release on Blu-ray, but no 4K.
Yes.
And I could understand if, like, because like with the Ghostbuster incident, they had a bunch of copies that got like 2 of one movie. One set they got there was all kinds of fucking shenanigans. But my buddy even got one of those fucked up ones of the
Yeah.
Ghostbuster set. So I don't even know what the hell happened there with that one. That was just some weirdness.
No, like the packaging was
But
like
this was like, yeah, you're right. This is clearly,
I,
that's the only thing that makes sense is somebody bought the movie, had it
yes.
already on the old Blu-ray, swapped them out, kept the 4K in the old Blu-ray case, and took this one back to the store with that in it. And they actually had a way of, like, they might have a plastic wrap machine or something. Maybe it's somebody who does some eBay shit or something, but they're
Yeah.
probably somebody who tricks people into thinking they're buying a lot of sealed movies and stuff when they're really not.
Yeah.
So it's somebody, yeah, I would have been pissed.
You know what's funny too? They even slapped the fucking HDR sticker in the plastic to make it seem
Did
like
it look like it was
wasn't
peeled off or?
no,
Hmm,
not really.
that's weird.
Yeah,
The only
it
other
is
thing
weird.
is I could think of is that they shipped it off, or they delegated it out to a crappier company or something, maybe.
Yeah.
Because there was a time when they didn't have the facilities because they went and shut down all the American facilities. So there was a lot of movies, if you guys remember early on, especially in COVID, that were getting delayed because they didn't
Mhm.
have enough room to get them in,
Yeah.
to get them processed in time. In fact, like Superman, that's another reason I guess that got delayed too, is that there was an issue getting the steelbooks out in time or something. But
Mhm.
anyway, like I could see that being a possibility that something went wrong in the production side of things, because they do keep old stock on hand, right, for when they do these combos and stuff. So maybe it was somebody's first day and they didn't realize that the other one was the wrong disc, and they had some of the old stock on hand or something. But the fact that it was in a weird plastic, kind of, like, yeah, I get what you're
Yeah.
saying, dude. It just, none of it makes sense. It's a weird. I've never
No,
seen anything like that before.
no, it's super weird, but I was able to fix that whole thing. It's funny because
I'm glad they didn't give me any shit at Best Buy thinking you did that. You know what I mean? That was my first fears.
oh no,
Thinking,
no, my
oh, they're
my,
gonna
my
think he's trying to swap them out now.
no, I didn't. No, this wasn't ordered in Best Buy. It was
Or
ordered in
Amazon.
Amazon.
Oh, the Amazon's easy to deal with. Best Buy probably wouldn't have let you brought it back. You'd have been
Yeah,
better off going in and saying it didn't work.
I know. Yeah, that's the thing. But
Even
the thing,
Walmart's that bad now.
Mhm.
no, but I was gonna
Now they're
say
gonna
that
make you pay for returns.
oh my
I
god,
heard something like that for
Yeah, like
restocking fee.
$2 restocking fee if you return something like a movie or something stuff.
that's bullshit, man.
Yep.
I'll be
But
like, I want to return it, but I'll go put it back myself so you don't charge me, bitches.
but what was I gonna say? My the new job I work at, the company happens to be partnered with Amazon, and they actually have a return
Well, that's
section.
cool. In most
Okay.
things,
Yeah.
as long as you get it through Amazon Prime, they got free returns. Not everything, but like, yeah.
Yeah, so I
Yeah.
was able to get a free
Yeah.
return over there, and
That's cool.
I package it up and I showed them the QR code thing because I told my mom about this because she's the one that like got me the movies and stuff.
Mhm.
She was just
Mhm.
like give me a list of things you want for your birthday, and then I just gave her a list of like movies I want like from Amazon, and I told her about the issue, and I'm like it's like hey mom, this doesn't come with a 4K disc, and it's like what? It's like I ordered it from Amazon, and then
Yeah.
we looked it up to see if it was like an actual seller, like somebody trying to sell it like a pre-owned version. And it's like No, it just says it's from Amazon. So it was really weird, and yeah, I told the guy, because you know why it was a pre-packaged thing. The fucking slip, the slip case looked like it was printed paper instead of like
Somebody was trying to
the
make a
studio.
scam, man.
Yeah, so it was literally a scam.
Yeah.
It was pretty like weird, but I ended up telling my mom. I was like, hey, now that you got the refund and all that, I was like, they have the 4K slightly cheaper at Walmart. Maybe we can see if that works. And yeah, Walmart actually gave me the right 4K.
Cool.
So yeah,
Yeah.
and it looks good on 4K, like almost like most Sony
Yeah.
4Ks. And I did watch the Rob Reiner commentary. It's not the greatest commentary ever.
Crazy Rob Reiner. Meathead.
Yeah.
um,
I mean, good. Uh, not trying to.
keep it friendly here. There's
Yeah.
a non-politic zone on this show.
No. I'm gonna escape the art from the artist. He at that time he was a really good fucking director.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, like Spinal Tap, Princess Bride, Stand by Me, like those. These are great fucking movies.
Yep.
And A Few Good Men, like it's really fucking good. And I'd argue that this is one of Tom Cruise's best performances. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah.
And he should have got nominated an Oscar. I'm gonna be completely fucking honest. I mean, Jack Nicholson did, and he deserved it. But I mean, Tom Cruise is fucking great. Even Demi Moore, she should have been nominated.
Yeah.
She was a badass.
All right.
Yeah, but
she was a piece of.
No, but like, I mean, like in the commentary, I don't know. He didn't like talk a whole lot. He was just like, most of the time he's just like, oh, it was great working with Aaron Sorkin as a screenwriter. He's brilliant, and Aaron Sorkin actually wrote the screenplay for Moneyball and The Social Network, which were both great as well. But I guess this movie was his first one. And he's like, oh, here's the right man for the job, Tom Cruise. Like that's the type of shit he says in the fucking audio commentary. And then he's like, Demi Moore was brilliant. Jack Nicholson. He's just like, oh, this actor was great for the job. This like that, and the cinematographer was great at this. And it was mostly shit like that. He would talk about some interesting stories, but it's not a great audio commentary. Like not my favorite that I've seen. It's not compared to some of the best ones you'll get, like some of the John Carpenter, Kurt Russell stuff, or any of that. It's nothing compared to that. Even the Tropic Thunder audio commentary is like amazing. Have you watched that one, Greg?
No, I haven't got the 4K of that one.
It's on the Blu-ray too. Do you have the Blu-ray, the director's cut?
No, I think I still just have the DVD.
Really?
Yeah, I never upgraded to Blu-ray on that one. I liked the movie. It just was never something I went back over and over for.
No, but if you do get the Blu-ray from Kino, you can watch it on the Blu-ray disc. The audio
I'd like the 2-disc DVD, I think, somewhere. Anyways, but
but if you watch the audio commentary for Tropic Thunder, Robert Downey Jr. is in character.
Yeah.
During the commentary, it's hilarious.
So who wants to go? You want to go? I know you got one left now. Tom's got one left now, and I got one left now. So how do you guys want to do this? You want me to do my last pick and then go back to you guys, or?
I just got the one more, so it don't matter.
Let's go to you, Tom, and then me, and then we'll finish off with the runner. That's how we'll do it.
I finished up my double feature of Cheech and Chong with the sequel, Cheech and Chong's Next Movie. Which actually got a release from Shout Factory a while back. Not a bad release, not the greatest. Little pricey for a Shout Select, but obviously, at least has an interview with Cheech and Chong, or Cheech anyway. and some radio spots and whatnot. It looks okay, not the greatest scan in the world. But this is the one that actually has Pee-wee as the concierge in it, and then he shows up as Pee-wee later on as well. It actually is the first one where they started using all the groundlings. So it has Phil Hartman's in it, but you can barely tell he's in it. A bunch of the other people, like even what's her face, is in it, Elvira, but I can't remember what role she plays. But so like yeah, it has all those guys in it, but Pee-wee's obviously the most prominent one of the bunch. But yeah, this one's pretty good. It's not the best of the sequels, but it's one of the better of the sequels. I guess I don't know how to put that because like the first three are really good. So once you get past there, they're kind of ish.
Yeah, they kind of
because like Up in Smoke's really good. Next movie's really good. Nice Dreams is really good. Still Smoking's good, but Still Smoking is basically a concert film. Mixed with like a movie. It's weird. And that's the one I think you're thinking of because Red comes back there, which is a character that's introduced in this one, which is basically Cheech's cousin, which is Cheech with a wig doing a Texas accent. So yeah, I think it's the same character, but different movie. And then Nice Dreams is the one where they have the ice cream truck.
Yeah,
and
I remember
got
that
Pee-wee
one.
Herman in it, but he's from the Hamburger Man. And Stacy Keach returns in Nice Dreams. So yeah, I mean, to keep them separate and know which ones they are, I know it's difficult.
It did because I watched them all together at one time, and then they blended into my head.
And Things Are Tough All Over is where they all both play like multiple roles. And I think anyway, but like yeah, no, the next movie's pretty good. It's fun.
Yeah, I like the Up in Smoke next movie. The third one, like you said,
one that's got the Mexican American song in it.
Yeah,
that's probably the more
Mexican American beaners.
Don't like to get up early in the morning, but we do, and we get married to guys named Debbie, girls named Debbie, and we got brother-in-laws named Jeff.
I remember. Which one is that? The one where they do the Beaner song too? Like beaners are good.
Beaners. Like beans.
Like beans.
Yeah, man, I like that. Just work on it a little bit, man.
Oh man, it's so good.
They like their Ninas and their no-nos and their nanas.
Yeah, that's what I remember. Yeah,
yeah. And they got the neighbor that they just torment.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, the basic story, like the next movie has less of a plot than the first movie. Like it literally just starts off, they're just tormenting their neighbor and they're doing their Cheech and Chong things. I think that they actually play Cheech and Chong in this version. Because if I remember right, they call him Cheech and Chong throughout the film. Yeah, because he does refer to himself as Chong as well. So yeah, they're actually playing themselves in this movie. So it's not a direct sequel to Up in Smoke. It is the second film, but it's the next movie, exactly. And basically, eventually after the first few bits, Chong gets sent off to pick up Cheech's cousin because Cheech has a date showing up. So like the next part of the movie is really like the series of adventures that Red and Chong go on while Cheech is sitting at home waiting for his date to show up, having daydreams and dreams of her. So it's kind of like this whole like bit going back and forth. But Cheech and Chong actually spend more time apart in this movie than anything. So yeah, so if you think about it, because it's Chong and Red running off doing their thing, and like I just explained, Red is just basically Cheech's long lost cousin who's like from Texas or something like that. But it turns out he has like a weed farm. So like the first thing he's got this huge bag full of weed. He's like and it just escalates from there. So like
I remember that. I remember the accent too. Yeah, he kind of like cocks his mouth.
God damn, man!
Oh, that reminds me. It's not Cheech and Chong, but I remember because of that movie, I always wanted to see Born in East LA. Is that out on Blu-ray?
Oh yeah,
I haven't seen that in years.
Actually, Shout did that at about the same time they did this.
Really?
That's why I think they have the interview with Cheech and that's it on this, because I think they did the interviews for both at the same time. Because technically, that's the weird thing is Born in East LA is a funny movie. It's based on a quote unquote Cheech and Chong song, but since it was based on a song that Cheech did all by himself. Tommy didn't feel like he had any real connection with it. And so when they made the movie, it was Cheech's first real big venture on his own. And I think it did well. I think it did better than some of the Cheech and Chong movies, which was kind of a point of contention with the guys for many, many years. They didn't get back together for like 20 some years or whatever it was.
Yeah. Yeah, and that was you could tell because that was like more of a mainstream type movie than the Cheech and Chong type movies. So.
Yes, but yeah, actually, Shout did it, and they actually have the alternate ending on it as well.
Oh, nice! I'm gonna have to pick that one up.
I don't know if you knew that or not, but like the TV version adds like 10-15 minutes to the movie because it runs short. And there's a whole nother bit at the end of the movie that's cut off.
I did not know this. Now I definitely got to pick up this.
The movie just kind of ends where they get married or whatever, but there's like a whole like extension to that. Like, yeah.
I'm gonna definitely have to pick that up because I had not seen Born in East LA in forever. Just like when we started talking about the Cheech and songs, I was like, oh yeah, that I haven't seen it. So definitely going to pick that up. And I need to get back into the Cheech and Chong movies themselves. I heard they're supposed to be making a new one, aren't they? I think I heard that somewhere that they were making a new Cheech and Chong movie, that it's in talks. We shall see on that. But nice.
Oh, they better hope it's good.
Yeah.
Because isn't it Paramount?
Oh, I don't know who would make this one.
Okay, because here's the thing: if it is Paramount, I mean, they've started to have some hits lately, but they're not like, I don't know. I mean, they're doing better compared to Disney when you got like, what was it, Beavis and Butthead, Tulsa King, all that type of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Even Top Gun Maverick to an extent, and you got Mission Impossible 7 coming up, so they have some good shit. They still got the Star Trek nonsense they got going on, but I mean, if they could do a good Cheech and Chong movie, that'd be pretty cool.
We'll see. I don't remember if it's happening or not, or who's going to make it.
Yeah, if Paramount's even doing it, I don't even know because I don't know because I'm pretty sure Up in Smoke, when all that shit was coming out, or the rumors or whatever about it, the false rumors that is of it coming on 4K, it says that it was going to get released by Paramount.
Yeah,
so that's why I asked.
All right. Well, I guess we'll move on to me. And Runner, you get the honor of being the last pick tonight. But I'll move on to mine. Since you talked a little bit about comic book movies and stuff tonight, since it is the 85th anniversary of my all-time favorite superhero, Superman.
Oh, you gave it away.
Well, I didn't watch the Superman movie. I watched a Superman documentary, and I had not seen this documentary since Superman Returns came out. And that would be Look Up in the Sky, The Amazing True Story of Superman. The Amazing Story of Superman. I said true story. This is a great documentary. I really enjoy this documentary. It came out the same time as Superman Returns, when it was hitting theaters and all that, all that was, around it. It's a really great documentary. It really covers a lot. It covers all of Superman from the time of his creation to his foray into the cartoons, the Ruby, or not the Ruby. My God, what is it? Those cartoons, Tom? It's the cartoons I'm talking about. The ones that are coming out. Ruby Spears. Is that the one I'm thinking of?
No, the ones that are coming out.
I'm thinking of the original Superman ones.
Those are the Fleischer ones. Yeah,
Fleischers. I'm sorry, Fleischers.
Max Fleischer.
Yeah, Fleischers. Yeah, it covers from a comic book to the radio programs to the Fleischer cartoons to the Kirk Allen serials to the George Reeves TV show to the 80s Super Friends and all that to Lois and Clark and to the Superboy TV show, then Lois and Clark, and then Smallville, and into Superman Returns. It covers a lot of ground. It's about 1 hour and 50 minutes. It's a great documentary. It's narrated by Kevin Spacey because it was made by Bryan Singer at this time. But it's really good. It talks to everybody. It talks to Dean Cain. It talks to Annette O'Toole. It talks to like everybody that they could involved at the time and comic book artists and everything. And it really goes over, and it even goes over how Batman eclipsed Superman and everything. And it was just a great documentary. And since it's the 85th year anniversary of my favorite superhero, I felt like watching something Superman before I get into the 4Ks when they come in a couple weeks. But yeah, if you've never seen this, check it out. It's a really great documentary. It's really fun. Um, and it reminds me of how much I love and hate Superman Returns than love, because
I never liked Superman Returns.
it's I say love because it has some really great themes there that I think they could have really explored very well. I think the ideal of a world that has moved on from Superman, I think that's a great idea because the world has moved on from Superman. And I
Oh,
think
that's a
like
decent concept.
that's a
That's not a
great
bad
concept,
Huh.
but it's the movie is a half an hour too long. It meanders. I did not like that they gave Lois a fiance and a child. I kind of felt like they cucked Superman in that situation.
I just didn't like the way they portrayed Lois, and the casting was fucking terrible.
Yes, she's bad casting on her part, and I didn't like that when I saw Kumar from Harold and Kumar beating up Superman, and Superman doesn't throw one punch. That really gets on my nerves. But it's got like this had a chance to be like to make me feel the way I did when I saw Superman, the Christopher Reeve Superman, because Brandon Routh is a great Superman. He gives
He is
he gives an amazing performance in this film. It
really
has some
good.
really great effects when he catches the plane and when he pulls the Kryptonite island out of the sea and he flies it up to the sky. Amazing scenes. You really do feel a little bit of Christopher Reeves with him. I just think it needed some work, but it's just because like when it got to the Superman Return stuff, it reminded me of how I thought it had some really great moments, and then it just kind of let me down.
I remember seeing it on cable actually, and right from the beginning, I was just kind of bored, and I didn't. I don't know. I don't know. It's just I didn't enjoy it. Like I didn't like Lois. I didn't like the way they portrayed her. It. I just think that was a. I don't know if it was the casting or the writing or what.
Out of
And
all
I
that, I think Lois and Perry White are miscast the most in that movie.
I don't even remember who Perry White
Probably.
was.
Yeah, it's Frank
Yeah, I mean,
Langella.
I've got a love hat. Well, I didn't hate him, but like, I got a love hate relationship in general with that movie. I mean,
Me too.
I understand everybody's gripes. I too thought Lois Lane was completely miscast. I'm not a big fan of some of the story choices, but I was a fan of the idea of what potential we had for more sequels down the road that never happened.
Mm-hmm. It could have been an
felt,
interesting sequel.
yeah.
And
And
I was
love or
never.
hate Kevin Spacey, another one with the whole like separation of art and
Mm-hmm. He does a
real
good job
life.
as Lex Luthor.
He does do a good
He
job as
does.
Lex Luthor.
He does.
I gotta
Then-
rewatch it. I'll be honest with you. I'll
It's like I
rewatch it.
said. I think
But
the concept is brilliant. I think if you could have just nailed that, like the world has moved on from Superman because the world had. They moved on to Batman and darker heroes or heroes like this, and like
yeah,
you had your opportunity to bring back Superman the way Christopher Reeve did, and you kind of nerfed it. You know, it's not like there's not good stuff in the movie because there is really great stuff in the movie. It's just there's certain story choices and
Well,
casting.
and I think that's
that
part of
didn't
its
work.
problem is it needed to let go of the Donner Superman, but be
It
its
did
own
too.
thing. It's
Exactly.
like yes,
that was
you
what
can you
I
can
was gonna
use the
say.
theme and a few other things, but it still needed to be a fresh start.
Mm-hmm.
And
I
Ralph
was
got the shaft as far as being able to play the role sincerely
Yeah.
because had to emulate Christopher Reeve's version.
Yes.
I was gonna say that one of my problems with the movie was and I didn't want to I didn't want to say it at the time because I wasn't sure how much you guys felt, but like I felt like Bryan Singer was trying to like be
Oh
like
yeah, he
the
said it
Donner
in the Donner
Superman
verse.
movies,
It's
but
a sequel to Superman 2.
I know, but that was one of my problems with it. It's like you could have just made its own thing because that's when the whole mess comes in. Because I remember I remember when I was younger, I thought that like I remember the whole thing being like a plan was it was gonna tie in with the fucking Nolan Batman movies, and I'm like, oh god, that
No,
wouldn't
I
have
don't think
worked.
that was ever. I don't think that was ever a plan.
I thought that was. Like they
No,
were
I don't think.
like
No, if
the
anything, they would have tied Henry Cavill's into the Nolanverse because of they were the same people working on that.
no, no, I don't
Yeah,
think so. I mean,
Christopher Nolan is. It's like
no,
it's
I know,
legitimately
I know he,
Superman is still is Christopher Nolan's Batman. It's what
no,
it
I know,
is,
I no
and
understand
he's a
that.
producer on it. He all that
No,
stuff.
he wrote. I know he wrote it too, and what was it, Warner Bros. Wanted him to do. I get that, but like, I, I'm saying like, I thought that they were gonna try to do their own like DCEU quote unquote at the time. I don't want to get into that whole thing because we will be there for hours in this show for hours if
But
we did. But no, one of my problems was I feel like they should have just done their own thing.
I do think they should have done their thing. I
Get
think Brandon Routh should have been allowed
get
to play.
away. I think Bryan Singer should have sort of sort of like
They
put
shouldn't have said
the
it in the
Donner movie.
Donnerverse.
Yeah, they should have
They
set the
shouldn't have said it
Donnerverse
in the
aside.
Donnerverse. They should have let Brandon Routh play his Superman. It's okay to do nods to Christopher Reeve because he does look like him. And he's got has a very similar voice. There are times you would think it's Christopher Reeves talking the way he talks. Um,
I hate how small the S is on the suit.
yeah, that is poor
That
design
bothers.
choice.
I know
Um,
it fucks up my eyes because it's like it looks so much better when
which is
the
funny
S is
because
bigger.
that's the suit they use in Smallville. Well, just like the top of it, and they made the S bigger in Smallville. It's still like the same suit, but somehow they managed to make the S bigger. Um, but yeah, I think if they wouldn't have gave Lois a husband, a fiance, and a child, if they would have, I don't know, it had a great concept. I think somebody needs to go back to that concept of the world moving on from Superman and see if they could get a crack through it that way because I think that could be really interesting. Um, I always related to Superman. Everybody says Superman is unrelatable. He's too powerful. He's too this. Well, I always related to Superman, a kid from even though I'm not an immigrant from another planet, but a kid who's just like wears glasses, is this nerdy guy from the Midwest who has something powerful inside of him to help save the world. Forgive me if I related to that.
No,
I'm
no,
sorry I related. I don't
no.
relate to a rich billionaire who parents were killed in an alley and who goes around just kicking ass. I mean that don't get me wrong, I love Batman. He's one of my favorite characters and that's awesome. And I get why so many people like that, but I never really connected that way to Batman like I did to Superman.
No, I understand. The reason why I connected more with Batman is mostly because of the human aspect. And yes, there is a human aspect
I think
to
Superman has way more human aspect than Batman because Batman's got to the point where Batman is going to beat everybody. I mean, he beats Superman, he beats Martian Manhunter, he beats the Flash, he beats everybody. He will never lose, and it's just like
yeah,
that becomes a
yeah,
little
I
that
guess.
becomes just as bad as Superman being so overpowered that he can blow out a star because
Maybe
Batman will always win.
honestly, maybe it's because at times like I'll say this, like in like in public, I'm sort of like, you know, like a casual whatever type dude and like like whenever I'm like in private, sometimes I'm like I have a dark like personality sometimes. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. Like as I've gotten older, I've come to sort of understand the relatability to Superman. I didn't when I was a kid. And maybe
I,
I'm gonna be honest with you. Maybe it's because of Superman Returns. I remember seeing that as a kid, and I just like like I was just like Superman was never my favorite because of that movie.
He was always my favorite. And like I said, don't get me
I
wrong, because I know Batman
understand.
fans can be passionate. I'm a fan of Batman, but I've always related more to Superman. I always felt I know
I can
people don't get it, and being a Superman fan, I've heard it my whole life that you can't
no,
write for Superman. He can't do this. He can't have conflict. Why do you relate to somebody? I've related to him and always felt it more of a human aspect towards Superman than I did Batman. That's just me though.
no, I get it. I get it. Like I said, as I've gotten older, I've started to see it more.
But that was
When
my.
when I come to think of it, as a kid, I didn't think of it as
I'm
much.
don't get me wrong. Batman's cool. He's cool as shit. I mean,
Yeah.
he gets to sleep with massive chicks, beat up people. He runs around in an awesome bat suit. But I was more of a Superman fan. And if you've not seen the
Maybe
documentary, check out the
maybe
documentary. It's really cool.
I don't know. Maybe it's because I also watched the Michael Keaton movies as a kid and all that, and even the Val Kilmer and George Clooney. Was it Batman Forever and Batman Robin? I have a soft spot for Batman Forever. I'll be honest with you. Batman Robin was
It's because
I
you like Val Kilmer.
I that was the only Val Kilmer movie I'd ever seen, and I didn't like. Val Kilmer was never like a big name to me at the time because he like didn't do shit while I was born. He just did like straight to video shit. I mean, he did a few studio movies here and there, but that was only because like he just got a gig from another director he's worked with, like Tony Scott for Deja Vu. I don't know if you've seen that movie, but it
No.
was with Denzel Washington.
Yeah, I know. I just never seen it.
Yeah, that was the only
But
movie Denzel had ever done with Val Kilmer, and they're both
yeah.
great in it. But Val Kilmer was getting all like he was like a fat cop in it pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, he was great in the movie, but like that was at that point where like yeah, but
All right. But let's go to your final pick of the Night Runner and let's wrap it up because, like you
yeah,
said, you're on the show tonight. So guess how long we're going?
yeah, almost 3 hours.
Me and Tom did the show last week. We did like an hour and 30 minutes. It was nice and tight and quick.
This is another one I actually got on my birthday, and my dad has wanted to watch this movie with me for the longest fucking time. It is 3 hours long. It's a very good movie. I really liked it. It's a Stanley Kubrick film. I know Tom. I'm pretty sure Tom loves this movie, and I'm pretty sure Greg's probably seen it.
I think I know what it is.
Can you guess?
I'm Spartacus.
I am Spartacus.
Spartacus. Spartacus.
Yes.
My dad keeps quoting "I'm Spartacus," like so much to me because he's like son, when are we gonna watch Spartacus? Like, it was either that because he's wanted to watch that movie with me for so fucking long. It was either The Godfather.
It's his Hondo, man. Leave it alone.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
did. No, because like for a while it was like
Peg,
when are we gonna watch The Godfather?
Hondo only comes out once a year.
It's like it's like when are we gonna watch The Godfather? He's like, when are we gonna watch Spartacus? And it's like, all right, I'll ask for Spartacus for my birthday and on 4K, and we'll watch it then. And for some reason, I wanted to watch it with the 4K TV, but in the living room, there's it's just a regular HD TV, so I had to watch it on Blu-ray. Sadly, for 3 fucking hours, and then I pop the 4K in, and I tell my dad, I'm like, we should have just watched it in 4K. It looks so much better.
Do you have a 4K Blu-ray and only a Blu-ray Blu-ray regular TV, or what's the setup? Because you can watch 4K through regular TVs, and it still looks marginally better over the Blu-ray.
No, it's a Blu-ray.
Yeah, you don't
player.
get to benefit. Yeah, you don't get to benefit from the whole.
Yeah, it's just it's an older HD TV, and
because I'll tell you,
Blu-ray player.
like on my plasma, because I had the Xbox and stuff for a while that would play 4K, but I didn't have a 4K TVs. But I mean, yeah, you could tell just a bit in the uptick in clarity, even on a standard television. Not like astronomically, but you know, it makes a little difference.
Yeah,
and I would say Tom would probably be aware of this since he's like an expert on TV cuts and shit. My dad told me that the TV cut of Spartacus cut out that one gay related scene.
I wouldn't be surprised. In fact, I think they cut it out of the film for many years.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, because honestly, I think I've seen the earlier cut of that. I think we watched, or the older cut of that, or whatever you want to call it, in school, if I remember right.
Okay.
Because then I saw the restored version on video years later. If I'm not mistaken. Somebody correct me out in the chat if I'm wrong, but I swear they actually cut it from the movie because of complaints. So for many years when it was re-released, that was missing. And they finally put it back when they remastered it back in the 90s.
it was a scene between I think it was Laurence Olivier and
Yeah.
Tony Curtis.
Yep.
Jamie
And
Lee
Tony Curtis is gay,
dad.
of course, in real life. So yeah.
Yeah.
But
I think how about Lawrence? I can't remember.
I don't know. But there was like, it was like a scene in like I thought it was gonna be like an actual gay fucking scene, but it was just like it wasn't like sexual or anything. I thought that's what my dad was talking about when he
No,
talked
but
to me
that
about
it's
that.
just the insinuation, right? Like that's what I was saying
Yeah.
with 12 Angry Men earlier. They insinuated things, but they didn't even flat. That's what's
Yeah.
funny about how they say how racist and shit was back then. It's like they wouldn't even say the terms.
Yeah, they wouldn't
then.
even. They just
What
like
are you talking about?
they slightly nodded at it, but they was like, "We ain't touching that."
It's just kind of like with Psycho 2 is another one that I love because people like don't realize how much got cut out of the movie, and then when they see the uncut version, they're like, "That's it." It's like, that's it. You got to understand. Yeah. Showing ankle was fucking crazy back then.
Exactly.
She's parading around in her bra.
Yeah, like it's like really, and then like with the new release,
there with a married man.
Yeah.
No,
it was pretty thing.
No, because in the back of this 4K right here, it says extended version with 12 additional minutes, and I told my dad about it. I'm like, "Is that it?" And he's like, "That's it."
Yeah.
And yeah, then I watched the scene, and I'm like, and I told him, I'm like, "That's fucking it." I'm like, "That's what they cut out? That just that?"
It shows you how much people were prudes back in the day, and then how much different it is today, where it's like it's way over the top today.
Yeah, that's almost the exact same thing he told me. He's like, yeah, like at the standards back then were completely different to now, type of thing.
It's crazy. It's like I said, it's like what Tom was talking about Psycho, like with the new release of Psycho, the new 4K, they added in a minute extra of the shower scene that was cut out, and it had only been seen during the release when it was actually in theaters for the first time. Then after it came out of theaters, they cut a minute something out of the shower scene. And it's been added back in on the new 4K that was just released, which is still nothing really. It's just a little more stomach and a little more under boob is all. It doesn't really, but back then, that was a lot, very risque.
Yeah. Very, very much. Deleted scene says that Anthony Hopkins dubbed Olivier's voice in the restoration.
I didn't know that. And I might be wrong about Tony Curtis, but I swear I heard that he was a little, at least bi, if not, but I guess I could be wrong.
I was gonna say he's gay. Like I thought he married fucking what's her name?
Marilyn Monroe.
Janet Leigh.
Yeah, but
have you seen Jamie Lee Curtis?
I was gonna say
no. Well, that doesn't mean shit, especially in Hollywood. Like normal everyday people got married to
Who would have thought Rock Hudson was gay? Seriously.
Right, exactly.
Honestly. Yeah. That's like, again, I'm not trying to be funny. I mean,
getting
seriously.
married to a woman, especially in Hollywood, don't mean jack.
Yeah.
Shit. In fact, go back and look if they had any kind of like controversy where like, oh, there was a rumor going around that they were gay. They would get married just to squash that movie.
Yeah. It's my favorite line in Austin Powers is, who would have thought Liberace was gay? The women loved him.
Exactly. That one was obvious.
I know, but I love that line in Austin Powers.
Over the years, there's been some that have come out with some stories. I could be wrong about Tony Curtis, but I could have swore I heard that somewhere. We all knew about Anthony Perkins.
Yeah, Anthony Perkins he struggled. I mean, that's why he was so great as Norman Bates, because he legitimately had to struggle inside of him as well as in the movie, and it played so well. And then he actually
came out of the closet in the 70s or 80s, I think, too, wasn't it?
And then somewhere around there, and then he actually married a woman and had a couple kids before he died.
Yeah, I know. It's one of those things.
Yeah. That's what I said. He had that struggle in him. That's why the character of Norman Bates was so perfect for him.
Well, I do know Perry Mason was gay.
Yeah, I just found that out too. I didn't know that.
That's what I mean. Like every other day I find out, oh yeah, okay.
Will Smith? Just
No
remember.
way. Well, he could be bi. I don't know, but I doubt it.
Just remember, the Candyman never hurt anybody as long as they kept his name out their mouth. So just remember that.
Well, that's what I'm
Candyman.
saying, Tim. Especially even back then, it wasn't abnormal. And then in Hollywood, they would drudge up these, a girlfriend or a wife just to, stave off a case of the possible gays, because God forbid somebody find out the truth, which
Yeah.
is the reality of it is we don't give a shit.
No, yeah, nobody really cares. That's what everybody acts like.
Exactly.
It's such a nobody
Half of
cares
them when I hear
anymore.
about it, I'm like, yeah, that's no surprise.
It's like it's just, nobody cares anymore. It's just the over and shoved in your face stuff that people get annoyed at. But yes,
Marlon was reportedly bi, yes.
yeah.
And Will Smith, I've never heard any stories of him.
No,
with
we were
men,
just joking
but
at that.
But I've heard some stories to where I can tell I don't know how to put this. He's very picky about things, which is weird how he wound up with Jada.
I don't know
makes
why he
no
stays
sense.
with Jada.
Well, they are separated now, as far as I know. But
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
last I
John
heard,
Travolta.
oh my God, I'm totally not gay.
I'm totally not gay. Just
You want to go work out?
Just don't look at this picture of me kissing this man.
It was research I was doing for a movie.
I guarantee you Will Smith had an affair with Margot Robbie.
I think that's been almost confirmed.
When they did that movie,
wasn't that what Jada like?
I was gonna say, have you seen?
Wasn't
Focus?
that what set? I was gonna say, isn't that what set Jada off or whatever?
I think
that's
so.
what I heard. That's what I always heard. I always heard like he had an affair with Margot Robbie on that movie Focus, and she had an affair with.
An open, they had an open relationship, which means it's okay for her to have sex with her kids' friends, but he can't do anything. Yeah.
Also heard she had an affair with what's his name, Jennifer Lopez's ex-husband, because they were on a TV show together. What is his name? Mark Anthony. Yeah, supposedly they had a thing when they were on their TV show together.
I wouldn't be surprised.
No, the only reason I mentioned that is because I remember watching Focus, because that was a movie they did before Suicide Squad, and I'm watching the movie and I'm like, damn, they have really good fucking chemistry.
Yeah,
look, and I've said this I don't know how many times before. Chances are 90% of the leading men and women in a movie have fucked.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Unless one of them is gay. And even then, that doesn't necessarily mean jack shit, as we just pointed out earlier.
Yeah.
On the other side of that, unless that, or if the leading lady's fucking the director.
Yeah. You guarantee that all the time.
It's usually the exception.
If you see like
sometimes
somebody
both.
has some, sometimes I mean you're putting these two people together to see if their chemistry matches in a movie. You can't tell me there ain't something.
Well, that's just first of all, a movie set is basically like a summer camp,
right?
Okay, you got to keep that in mind.
Yeah.
And on top of that, you have a lot of very good-looking people who love to party and are used to getting whatever the fuck they want in one place.
Yep.
This is what, and honestly, like a lot of people are like surprised with this whole open relationship shit in Hollywood. And I'm like, how the fuck do you think they all made it work for so long?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you guarantee you, if you're Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie, everybody wants to fuck you.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean everybody.
Oh, God.
And I know it's a little more difficult for men to understand this. This is one of those things women would probably understand a little bit more. But like when I say that, like I don't mean it in like a figurative goofing around way. I'm serious. Like on a daily basis, I guarantee you every movie star gets offered to be fucked 1,200 times.
Yeah.
And I don't even mean like straight out, but I mean like people will like do anything, stumble over you to suck your dick.
Mm-hmm.
Like just whatever they can to get in your good graces because you're a fucking movie star. Yeah. So I know it's got to be difficult as fuck, especially for a guy. Because again, I said women can probably understand this more, and it's a little easier for them to understand being able to turn down sex. For a guy, it's a little different.
Mm-hmm.
We're not used to that. We're not, because, Chris Rock did this bit. Women are used to being offered dick every day of their life by everybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because when a guy says, can I help you with that? Want some dick? Like
yeah, it's like,
here's the bit.
I followed this guy on Twitter. Guess what I have in my inbox all of a sudden?
Exactly. Yes. And there's the other side of it.
You know what's funny? You mentioned that story, Tom.
So it's tough for a guy to turn down women like Margot Robbie, of course, is my point I was getting to. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, but Bruce Campbell was telling us stories about like some of his experience in the
Bruce Campbell's fucked everybody.
Oh yeah.
Oh God, yeah, it's Bruce Campbell, but that's not the point. I mean, it is kind of the point, but like it was during the set of a fan asked him about a story he'd like to tell about the experience of Xena Warrior Princess. Like during that set, and he said that he's like, Lucy Lawless wanted to get all over my pants or some shit like that. He was like a very Bruce Campbell type.
They didn't.
She married Robert Tappert, Sam Raimi's producing partner. But it wouldn't have surprised me if they didn't have a little something with
I was going to say, yeah, he's probably being.
I mean, they were in Ash versus Evil Dead.
Yeah, that's because, like I said, they're still married. She married Sam Raimi's producing partner, but it doesn't mean that her and Bruce Campbell couldn't have did something on that New Zealand set when they first got cast.
I mean, like here's the thing, like a lot of people say like that Ash versus Evil Dead was when Bruce Campbell went full Bruce Campbell. The shit I saw last night, that was full on Bruce Campbell.
Nah.
It was hilarious. And,
but
yeah,
that was that's it for the final pick of the night, right? That was
Spartacus.
Yeah, Spartacus.
I'm
Spartacus. But it was good picks tonight. It's a good showrunner, good show, Tom. We got a little more into some other various conversations than we normally do. It's a good one tonight. What's up, Peter Venkman? Who caught us right at the end. But thank you guys once again, as always, for hanging with me. Thank you to everybody in the chat. Thank you for everybody watching. If you make sure you've liked, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, subscribe to Runners, subscribe to Midnight Zeds After Dark, Midnight Zeds Radio, all the good stuff. As always, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here, and we'll see you next Wednesday.
How you doing? Bitches leave.